All right, let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safe with Liquid Beer for the podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safe with Liquid Beer for the
It's the 6 o'clock check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello.
It's my static AM radio.
It's the Cool Bed Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromella intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack a 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin bites.
Good morning, AM Nasties. What's up, Dusty? Lieutenant Eric, YouTube Trev, locked and loaded for you on this wonderful Monday in July. My goodness, can we get a conch for Reed freaking Wilkins?
Read.
If you missed it, Friday night at the Nasty Bash, we made it official. Some say the worst kept secret in the city. But Reed Wilkins has left Ched to join Edmonton Sports Talk every single day, Monday through Friday, starting in September, 3 to 6, the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, glue guy riding shotgun.
Yep.
And I have to say, man, that was just an awesome, awesome announcement on what ended up being an incredible night.
It was a good pop. We finally know who Smash Smash is.
Yes.
You all thought it was Zach. And how wrong you were.
If you weren't there, I did post the video yesterday, the one that YouTube Trev took. And, it's funny that the MCU, Marvel, the very next day did the old head reveal with Robert Downey Jr. as Doomsday, which is just, I have to think that they got a little bit of an insight from Nasty Bash. We're like, oh, we should do the same thing with RDJ. I think ours had a bigger pop. I think the Reed Wilkins reveal had a little bit of a bigger pop. Reed, I'm not gonna. For those of you who were in attendance at the Nasty Bash, what a Nasty Bash it was! Holy smokes!
Oh, look, it's Normology. Run!
His shirt's open. I have to tell you, Normology was in my golf group at the tournament, and he came in and It's not often you bat 1,000. But I've partied with that guy twice now, and he's batting 1,000.
Plays for keeps.
Normology definitely wins the Lampshade Award from Nasty Bash 2.0.
Yep.
He was on fire. He's also going to the mix for a possible Esty on Best Exit from the Nasty Bash.
Also Tom Gazzola.
Tom Gazzola also with a nice exit.
Great exit.
There was like one female there, and she left with Tommy. It was just, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Tom
As
Gazzola,
per tradition.
Casanova, even with that ridiculous hair straight up, he's still Doesn't matter.
Well, speaking of which, Fergie was riding him on his haircut when he walked in, and he also says this morning, nice haircut, Dustin.
I did get, thanks,
let's
Ferg.
get
I did get a haircut yesterday.
Yeah,
Went and saw my guy. I said, give me the high and tight. Give me the Marshall Bokeith Nielson.
That was after you had that sandwich with the crusts cut off, breakfast time. Caused a little bit of stir. A couple people brought it up in the tailgate yesterday, to be honest with you.
No, they didn't.
Oh, yeah.
What?
What's going on with Dusty's sandwich?
Come on. Okay, so just quickly on the sandwich. So my wife wanted to make egg sandwiches yesterday for breakfast. We're going to eat outside.
Great.
It was a great morning. It was beautiful.
Love an egg sandwich.
But we didn't have any English muffins. And Elizabeth was like, I don't want an egg sandwich on regular toast. So then I suggested, why don't you just cut off the crusts and cut it around the egg
for
the kids? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Tammy said, would you like it done the same way? And I said, yes. In a plot twist, Elizabeth took all the crusts, put them on her own plate, and ate them all for breakfast.
This was her big plate, getting your crusts.
She was the very reason that we didn't do crusts.
She rope-a-doped you.
And then she looks at me, she goes, Daddy, look at my plate. And she's got all the crusts just piled up. She ate them. I was like, well, this makes no sense.
The crust queen. Hey?
So anyway, now I'm taking heat. Now I'm taking heat for being crustless sandwich guy, which I never am. However, I will say it was delicious. It was really nice not having crust on that sandwich.
The presentation looked great.
It was a well-done
Eating it,
sandwich.
I wonder, because the crust kind of keeps it together. But
I was outside. I mean, there was a wasp that kept buzzing around me.
Boy.
Damn wasps. Unbelievable. But all in all, pretty good morning. Pretty good day.
Oh, great day for a football game.
Awesome day for a
Tell you
football
that
game.
much. Again, tailgate undefeated.
You said that the food at this tailgate might have been people are now just trying to up everyone else on the food.
I should say so, because there's not much else to cheer for, right? So you might as well go in the Food Olympics there down at the tailgate. Quickly off the top of my head, Jason the Acadian and Andrea, they're making these, I think it was steak kind of sliders. Trev, you had one of those. The amount of cheese. I've never had a more cheesier appetizer or slider.
Oh, my God.
Jason, don't skip out on the cheese. That was amazing. And then the Cordies, as usual. They're always cooking up some good stuff, but a pork sausage, I do believe, in some sort of cannoli shell wrapped in bacon, slathered in barbecue sauce.
Wait. Go back and say this again. A pork sausage.
Pork sausage
in
like a cannoli shell.
Okay.
So like wrapped in a pasta.
What is this, Italian center shop?
Hey, and then wrapped in bacon and then barbecue sauce and just let to smoke all day long, like a slow cook. Mwah. I kiss my two fingers. Mwah, to my lips.
The only thing more cooked than that is MBT. I mean, where's that mitt?
Swish.
Ooh, I'll take it.
Well, it's got to be done now.
Well, I mean,
you were up in the catbird seat. I mean, you're getting quotes because Zola was down there. You guys were calling the game.
Yeah. Let's keep talking about Nasty Bash for a second, because we got lots to talk about when it comes to the Elks. We'll lay out the show for you.
And Iwanik's going to have a hangout to end all hangouts, I think, later today. If
Well,
you thought he was. And look, I that's fine. I will apologize. We can start the hangout. I'll apologize. I was wrong, Maddie. We were all wrong, right?
The hangout today is going to be something else, because you've got. Are you on it, Trev? No. Oh, okay. When you're pointing at yourself, I was like, are you on? No, because Tommy's gone for the next couple of weeks. He's off to work some Gretzky hockey schools. So today it's going to be a great hangout, though. We got Matt Iwanik, Murray McCourt, who was feverishly texting into the postgame show last night being like, I'm going to lose my mind on the hangout tomorrow. So you've got the Merman.
Red hot.
Merman's on tilt. And then you got Reed Wilkins officially making his EST hangout debut. And Reed will be on.
Well, Knives will be out, too. Now he no longer works for, the company.
Yeah.
So
we've set Reed Wilkins free, man.
Yeah, exactly.
This is going to be good. And also, and you'll see it, Reed Wilkins is one of the funniest dudes I ever met in my entire life. Like, he has this dry sense of humor.
Very dry.
That you're like, oh, my God, I can't believe Reed said that in that fashion. But that was hilarious. I hope it never gets repeated. Like, what a time. He had a great time at the Nasty Bash. His parents were there.
Well, I know where he gets the dry humor from. Meeting his mom and dad there.
Reed's mom and dad are like 79 and 80 years old. They stayed there till like 10 o'clock, and they were just having the time of their life. Like, his dad is just a cold-blooded killer, like just sitting there smiling, like, and his mom's just like the kindest little old lady. Nice. My God, she is saying so many nice things, and they're just learning out the new technology to watch and listen to their son and support the EST crew.
It's beautiful.
Just a wonderful, wonderful night meeting his parents. Man.
It was like the draft.
Yeah,
they're that type of thing. They're just watching with awe and amazement at their boy getting.
Well, you said it about the Nasty Bash. Until you take in one of these events,
well, yeah,
you just don't get it. You just don't get it. Like Jeff Kershaw was there.
Wide-eyed.
And Crusher was just like, when he left the night, he goes, Dusty, you have no idea what you guys have built. I was just like, well, we got a little bit of an idea.
And he's been in some locker rooms. Like, he's been in some.
Yeah, Crusher's been around. Like, the Nasty Bash is just, you have to take it in to know what we're talking about. Like, we cannot do it justice talking about it on the show. You just have to be there to witness it. You
And
really do.
even outside, under the cloak of darkness, I bump into RCN and Nate in Vegas,
Yes.
who have never met each other at all before. I meet them meeting each other outside. No
I
cameras,
didn't even
no nothing.
know that was Nate in Vegas.
Right?
I knew it was RCN, but I didn't know it was Nate in Vegas. I was like, who's this guy who's with? And then I saw RCN the next day tweet out that he met all these people, and he's like, and finally got to meet Raider Jesse and Nate in Vegas. And I was like, Nate in Vegas was there? I didn't even know Nate in Vegas was there.
No, it's...
I mean, but none of them are normology. This guy.
Come pick up your lampshade
Mm-hmm.
if you're up normology.
I think normology probably needs a couple of weeks off work.
That game, whoever else was in it, getting normology to chase Dusty around the bar late at night. That was
this guy. Every time
probably
I
the best part of the evening.
normology was there. Like, do you want to unbutton your shirt some more? I was like, no, Norm. I don't want to unbutton my shirt some more. We described him as a cross between Ned Flanders and the villain from like Minions 2 or 3. The skinny guy.
Well, he'd saunter on up to me, unbutton his shirt. I'm like, Norm, look, Dusty's over there. Where? And he'd turn around, and you would see this, and you wouldn't run, but it'd be like an Awanika gallop. You'd try to like kind of get away without making it look like you wanted to get away. It was very awkward and hilarious. That game of having you guys just run around the whole bar all night, just good.
My goodness, that was a good time.
One of those nights that you could recap, go back in time in a sober mind, and just take it all in as well. Observe it all, because lots of stuff was happening. Just
even if you have no connection to the Nasty, I don't think there's a better place in this city to people watch than the Nasty Bash.
I would have gone and sat at the bar myself if I didn't know any better.
My goodness, just an all-timer. We did, in fact, baptize Norman a combine in the 6 o'clocker lager. He's the only one who got it. I thought Grumpy Cat made a good point, because Norman a combine gets a 6 o'clocker lager on his head, and then Normology was there, and he's like, me next! And Grumpy Cat, who's Normology's buddy, he's like, only one a year. And I was like, that's actually a pretty good idea.
Okay.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
So normology on deck.
So, well, Norm's like, me next year. I was like, calm down, Normology.
Easy.
Calm down. You might not be allowed back at this thing. Let's lay out the show for you today. We've got a good one. If you're watching over on YouTube, let's hammer that subscribe button. If you've not yet subbed, we would love to have you. And hammer the thumbs up for us today as well. That would be great. Ross Creek RCS says, my chest hair is no competition for Normology.
No.
Normology is really weird because he's got a ton of chest hair, but then nothing like below it.
And just like a mat, hey?
Oh, yeah.
Like you could wipe your feet on that puppy.
You gotta meet this guy.
And the Ned Flanders, that was a great describer.
Well, look up Minions. Do you know who we're talking about?
Yeah. The whole.
My God, the Minions, like bad guy who got stuck on the moon. That's Normology. He might be up on the moon right now. Nobody knows. The Nielson Show is presented to you by Southford Chevrolet. Closer than you think since 1983. A short drive to Fort Sask is worth it to find the best deal at the best price. You got a couple of days left to get in on that employee pricing. $18,000 off select models until the end of the month, which is just 2 days away. Go see Daniel and his team at Southford Chev. Tell them we sent you. They'll take good care of you and give you 15% off the accessories on your new ride. We're coming in from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio today. And, of course, one of you will win Text of the Day today, which will get you that gift certificate to A&W. Frozen A&W root beers. Buy one, get one. Double the flavor. Double the chill. Double the joy for one delicious price. So get those text messages flying in, whether you're at the Nasty Bash or not. We got lots to talk about on the Edmonton Elks front. So we'll get to that as we work our way through the show as well. Let's get to what we've got coming up. Morning announcements on the way for 100.3 The Bear. We'll get to That Hurts. Got to hit that coming out of that
George
Elks
Russell,
game.
eh?
Oh, that hurts too. Yeah, George Russell. Not weighing in at the man. What a cheater. We'll get to that just after 6:30 today. Good, bad, and ugly from the weekend. Coming up before 7. Dave Naylor's going to join us just after 7. We'll get his thoughts on the Elks finally, reluctantly, begrudgingly, finally giving the ball to Trey Ford Trey Ford in the final 10 minutes of that football game throws for over 120 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Has a couple of plays that I'm not sure how many quarterbacks in this league are capable of making.
At that point, I wish I would have stayed home and watched it on TV just for you on the call because I can't. What were you saying? I saw the highlights, but I didn't have the audio accompanying it.
Well, I had one line when MBT was still in where I said, a 2 and out becomes a boo and out. I wonder about that, eh? I'm like, damn, that was a good one.
We don't need DeMarcus Christmas,
nice.
eh?
Yeah, I know. Boo and out? Come on. But it was tough because you don't want to lose your mind too much because it's a blowout.
Yeah.
But when he escaped from the pocket, took off, made the move on the last guy, then turns his body, cross body deep shot down the field to Leak. I even said on the call, I said, I know it's late in a blowout, but that's sensational stuff. It's phenomenal. He's a wizard.
It's not NFL stuff or anything, but I mean, it's close.
No, but it's Canadian Football League
It's almost
stuff.
Nathan Rourke-esque, eh?
Yeah.
You could say.
When Kyler Murray grows up, he wants to be Trey Ford. I'm on fire today.
You're feeling
God. Dave Naylor's going to join us. We'll talk about that. Nathan Rourke was waived. Does he get claimed by somebody, or does he make his way back eventually, maybe next season, to the Canadian Football League? And Naylor's been at Giants and Jets camp so far, so he's going to join us.
He also has that property in Belize he's looking to...
He's always trying to hawk that property in Belize.
we might throw in his way for that, eh?
You know what? Who
Maybe
knows?
an EST getaway, eh?
Where do you coming up this spring? A chance to stay at Naylor's.
You,
place.
Naylor, Belize.
I tweeted out the show lineup yesterday, and one sick puppy replied to me. He was like, "When are the Oilers lines?"
No.
Oh my god!
You have a wedding as well that took place over the weekend, right?
I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but not an ounce of my body cares about the McDavid wedding. I don't know. McDavid probably prefers it that way.
I would hope so.
Yeah. Mix and match Mondays. I load up McDavid and Draisaitl today. It's time. It's time. I know it's a little early in the off season to be loading these guys up. Who am I, Woody? But we'll get to that as we work our way through this second hour of the show. That'll be for Pro-Am Sports. Coolbet Canada hotline of the day. I think all we just say today is bet on Summer McIntosh to win whenever she's out there.
Yep.
Wes Hodkiewicz is going to join us. He covers the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love. Go make that bank, bro. What a deal for him. They brought in Josh Jacobs, which wide receiver is going to have the biggest impact in fantasy for all of us. We'll get to that around 7:30. That's good for Italian Center Shop, 7:45 today. We've got donuts. I went by Italian Center Shop yesterday. They hooked us up with 2 dozen. There's only about 20 left. The Nielson family attacked those things like a bunch of vultures on a leftover baby elephant. It was ridiculous. But we'll do donut draft coming up. We'll talk about Reed Wilkins having an opportunity to leave on his own terms, which is pretty special. We didn't get to leave on our own terms.
No.
Reed did.
No,
so,
sir.
Big move. He believes in us. He's coming over. We'll talk some Riverhawks, and that's good as well. Kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike. 3 questions too many for Park Mazda. And then the man himself, Reed Wilkins, newest member of EST, will join us in studio, chat with us for about half an hour, and then slide into the hangout today as well. The Reed Wilkins Show begins early September, 3 to 6 every single day right here on EST. You have no idea how excited I am to say that, and you have no idea how good that show is going to be with Reed Wilkins and Glue Guy. I think they're going to be an absolutely perfect fit together. They've been talking about things for a little while. They've got to know each other very well, and it's going to be a hell of a show. All right, let's get into your morning announcements for 100.3 The Bear. Hey, a quick conch for Fergie, hosting another absolutely amazing bash.
On the pipes.
I can't even wait for Nasty Bash 3, Normology's Revenge.
Box Pounder's got an official scorecard. I don't know if you want to see this one.
Oh, no.
X-Ray J, inebriation exit, 9:30, new record. Honorable mention, Mrs. Norman Combine, Sticky Rice. Clothing loss, top 3 Normology. Big Uke, he was unbuttoned too near the end.
Big Uke was unbuttoned.
He was letting it all open there.
Big Uke was just all hanging out there.
Coolest Wheels goes to a Tief. LEDs for the Renee, that car, hey?
Renee's got this
Holy
new orange
heck.
car.
Midlife crisis.
The Century Casino on Fort Road.
VR Montenegro,
Boom.
sexiest car model. Top scorer to Wrench, taking home a 10. Most parking lot drinks poured, box pounder. Most dirty looks, Fergie's prostate to box pounder. Have a great show, guys. Yeah, I know. There was a few times you're out there, too, and the kitchen staff had to come out and go, guys, about 20 more paces down, please.
Yeah, somebody was it box pounder making like margaritas in the parking lot? Like parking lot margaritas.
God, I love it.
Yeah, X-Ray J's in like the SD for best exit. X-Ray J leaving after he pissed himself. Pretty big. Tommy Gazzola. Pretty good exit. And then Normology. Norm was in that spot where he had his shirt off and he was swinging it. And then he'd leave and we'd all cheer that he left. And then he'd come running back in and swing it again. And he did it like 3 times.
You can work a room, that Normology.
What a legend. Absolute legend. All right, morning announcements for 100.3 The Bear. Edmonton's best rock. Listen to Yukon and McCord every single morning. And, of course, our favorite, Jess Jackson, on the drive home every single day. Eleanor Harvey. How about this? Eleanor Harvey, Canada's first ever Olympic medal in fencing.
And they got that rope on the back. If they go too far, they get yanked back or whatever.
Yeah, what's that about?
I've always been very
I didn't know that there was
intrigued by that.
a tether in fencing.
Get back here.
Yeah, that's something. Speaking of Eleanor, quick twist here. Christian in Winnipeg drove out from Winnipeg to the Nasty Bash.
Yeah.
Drives home today, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Said he was going to hit all of the Pro-Ams and the Waynes, and he was going to just basically hit for the cycle. Mr. Mike's Burger, go and get yourself a take and bake from the Italian Center Shop, get personally injured and then go to SBLLP. There had to be somebody from the Nasty Bash who had to go to SBLLP the next day. They just had to.
I can think of a few.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, he brought me this little. Did you see this? Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds. The car.
Yeah.
Like in the box still.
Oh, one of those.
A nice little treat. It was great. I put it up in my office with all my other weird things I collect. And nice little fit there.
Well, and good on him.
great.
I think the longest Nasty that in terms of travel. I do believe.
This year, for sure. Yeah.
We only had a small, after the golf tournament turned things around, people had plans, but him making that trek out from Winnipeg, just great. Big ups.
yeah.
2 thumbs up. A conch.
Real nice time. A conch for Christian in Winnipeg for becoming Christian in Edmonton for 2 days. All right, elsewhere in the morning announcements, Canadian men's basketball team gets it done in their first game. The American basketball team gets it done. LeBron James, at the age of 39, is the best player on the team.
But now South Sudan
Uh-oh.
awaits.
Did a good job. Jokic, look, the only hope Serbia had was Jokic would have had to play the entire game and just be absolutely outstanding. And he was good when he was in. They kind of held tight when he was in, but when he was out, the United States took advantage of him there. And then, of course, the Edmonton Elks. CFL overall this week and some interesting results. Calgary getting pumped
Very
the
much
way
so.
they did by Ottawa.
Yeah.
Surprised me.
We were watching that, the Nasty Bash, as it was going on. Other than that, I think the Memphis Mad Dogs, what I'm pulling away from Week 8 is I think the Mad Dogs are back in the win column.
What?
Given Bo Levi's 5-touchdown performance yesterday afternoon.
Can you believe that
Should
he
have
had
propelled
never
me.
had 5 touchdown passes in a game? in
He
his
never
career?
had?
That was the first time in his Hall of Fame career that he had 5 touchdown passes in one game. I thought for sure. When my stats guy said it to me, I slow looked him. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Doing the Dunya for as long as we have, he was never really a good fantasy bet either when he was in Calgary. Successful teams, but always maybe a touchdown.
But
maybe
he'd
2.
only thrown for 4 touchdowns 4 times in his career.
Yeah.
And I was just, that's crazy to me.
He'll pick you apart, but he's not like a. It's a funny thing, but 5 touchdowns yesterday. I mean, seeing the score. I mean, 44. We'll get into this game more so, but Toronto, Winnipeg. I don't know where you play that, but Ottawa spanking Calgary. I didn't.
That was the
5-2
most
now,
stunning
yeah.
result. Calgary's now 0-4 on the road this season, but 3-0 at home. It's interesting. The Edmonton Elks are 2 losses away from opening up 0-9 for the second year in a row, if you can believe it. Absolutely pummeled by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The 1 win, now 2 win Hamilton Tiger Cats rolled into Edmonton and absolutely embarrassed the Elks. I do not know for the life of me why they went back to McLeod Bethel Thompson to start the second half. Jarius Jackson had an opportunity. You were down. He had not played well. Went on a straight. Started the game 6 of 6. Ended up being 10 of 14 at the half. So what? He was 4 for 14 with an interception. Offense didn't he didn't throw a passing touchdown the game before. He didn't throw a passing touchdown in the first half of this game. You're getting pumped at home by the Ticats. You got a guy who actually saved your job for you last year, sitting there waiting for an opportunity, and you come back out at halftime and tell Tom Gazzoli you're sticking with MBT. What ends up happening? First of all, their defense couldn't get off the field. Bo Levi Mitchell and Ticats had the ball for over 12 minutes in the third quarter. Yeah. But when the Edmonton Elks did get the ball, in the third quarter, they ended up going for -5 yards. Yards in the third quarter alone were like 180 for the Ticats, -5 for the Elks. Why in the world did you roll MBT back out there to start the second half? Like, why have loyalty to this guy? He hasn't won you a single thing. He wasn't around last year when you had a glimpse of success. I was stunned when he was like, "We're sticking with MBT."
21-8. Hey, that would have been the score. I mean, the game is still.
It was 21-8,
and that's a natural time, as you mentioned. That's a natural time to make that switch.
100%.
I don't care how much MBT wants to bitch about it, or it doesn't really matter. That's the time you do it. It's natural. But again, giving yourself a little bit of tray in the fourth to and garbage time, whatever. He looked great. But
again, a lot of guys have got in
21-8
garbage time and not done anything.
Absolutely, but 21-8, you got a shot there. That's a natural time to do it. They didn't. But also, again, you mentioned the defense. James Butler having a day as well with Bo Levi Mitchell and a blocked punt as well. They can't get all. Even if you have a phase working, whether it's offense, defense, we saw in Ottawa the other week. I mean, defense actually shows up. Special teams have been, you don't need to talk about Beatty. But a block punt, like you need at least 2 of those phases working. They didn't have any of them yesterday, offense, defense, or special teams.
I can't think of a reason that you would have stuck with MBT to start the second half. Like, what did he show you in the first half that made you go, this is the guy?
A gut feeling.
This is the guy who's going to get us back in it. Like, how? This was the ultimate situation where you go to Trey Ford at the beginning of halftime and go, hey, man, you're going in the second half. You got 15 minutes to get ready.
Game's there.
I just
go get it.
I don't understand the loyalty they appear to have towards MBT for zero reason.
I guess I
just
think of
don't
the money,
get it.
But
whatever. I mean,
you didn't sign him now. It's not your guy. You don't have to wear the hat of saying I'm sitting a $500,000 guy. It's not you didn't bring him in. So whatever.
You know what makes even less sense? Paying a guy that much money to just continue to let him go in and lose football games. If he can't go, and MBT, like, they're scoring touchdowns late. MBT did not have a sign of, like, good for the team. He was standing there pouting on the sidelines. So if they don't start Trey Ford on, like, I don't know how they can't. I don't know how they can't.
And I still maintain that they can win with both of them. I think that both of them provide a specific skill set that's different than the other, and I think you could keep defenses on their heels in terms of spot play and everything. But you're right. Moving forward, I think maybe you're switching the 1A, 1B here, and maybe going full forward and spelling out MBT for a drive or two here or there. But as I said, like, defense too, special, like, it's a mixed bag. But obviously, with the excitement that Trey provided, you can't. But Regina Saturday night, baby, hot, best defense in the league.
That is a
bring it on.
Extremely difficult task.
Got nothing to lose, though.
For Trey Ford.
Nothing to lose. And I'd love to see it. Love to see how he reacts.
I mean, you could roll MBT out there or throw 2 interceptions. Why not? I don't even know what I'd say if they start MBT against the Riders. It doesn't make sense. You're now 0-7 in games that he started. The only glimmer you've had recently is when you put Trey Ford in the game yesterday. It's an automatic decision. If it's not an automatic decision, then everybody needs to just be blown out. He's forced their hand. Both of them have forced their hands. MBT can't win you a football game. Trey Ford provided a spark that the fans want to see. End of discussion. To me, there's not even a quarterback controversy. It's a done deal.
Well, you're 0-7.
Exactly.
Give us a little excitement.
0-7. Come on. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. That'll get you into the Paris Jewelers inbox today. 22 stores in 4 provinces across the country. Shop in store or online at parisjewelers.com. Since the moment I bought my wife her anniversary anklet. She has not taken it off. And that's because she is dedicated to the sponsors of Edmonton Sports Talk.
I saw her and the kids yesterday in the tailgate. I said, gee.
great
I was
time.
wearing shades, but I said, what's that? Oh, it's Tammy's anklet.
Yeah.
It was
so
dazzling.
shiny.
Booths away. I
So
couldn't believe
shiny.
it, yeah.
So shiny. The kids were loving the game yesterday. Like, kids are going to have fun at the football game no matter what.
Well, Tammy was telling me that, Marshall's a Bombers guy, and he likes it.
Yeah.
But the Muzz has been in this since day one.
The Muzz-
She is an Elks through and through, true and true.
And she makes a point of it. We're driving to the game yesterday, and Marshall was talking about the Bombers a bit, and Elizabeth goes, "Not me, not me. I'm always with the Elks.
Yeah.
I'm always with the Elks." She looked like she'd been in a 12-round fight after the game yesterday. You should have seen her. Her legs were like black. Her feet were disgusting. She got a mosquito bite up by her eye, and it was making her whole eye look like she had a black eye.
Yeah.
And she had like that like sunscreen and bug spray glisten. And she was just like, "Hey, Daddy." I was just like, oh, my God. She goes, "I was on the big screen singing YMCA." Like they were just
another Elks game, Daddy. Scraping her off the mat. Hey, back for more.
carrying her out. Thank God.
God bless her. I almost had Marshall on a streak near the end there. Just overthrew him by about a yard or two. I was kind of disappointed at that
I
one.
underthrew him a couple times down the field. He's looking at me. He's pissed. He's like, "I'm running these routes, and you're dropping it at my feet."
Put in Trey.
God. All right. We're going to get to a sports update. Then we'll get to That Hurts coming up here just after 6:30. Good, bad, and ugly from the weekend still to come. We got to dive in to the Paris Jewelers inbox as well. Exciting times here as we did announce on Friday that Reed Wilkins is our newest hire here at Edmonton Sports Talk, and he's going to be taking you home every single day from 3 to 6 starting in September. Man, I'm just so fired up about this. I can't wait to chat with Reed. He'll be in around 8:30 today to join us. We'll probably give him a donut from,
I think that
from
would be
Italian
quite
Center
nice,
Shop.
yeah.
Why not, right? Let's get to a sports update right now with LT.
Elks fall to 0-7 following a 44-28 loss to the Tiger Cats. Trey Ford, 10 of 15 with 3 touchdowns in fourth quarter relief of McLeod Bethel Thompson. The Elks will visit the 5-2 Rough Riders Saturday at 5. Second place Stingers wrap up the CEBL regular season schedule at home to Winnipeg tonight. It's a game we'll have for you live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, coverage beginning at 7 o'clock. Riverhawks double up the Wenatchee Apple Sox 4-2 yesterday afternoon from Remax Field as Edmonton take 2 of 3 from the weekend set. Riverhawks will end the regular season with a 9-game road trip beginning tomorrow night in Victoria. Prospects winning a thriller on the road, 16-11 over the Brooks Bombers. Prospects will host the Bombers tomorrow from Sherwood Park. The Jays complete the weekend sweep of the Rangers yesterday, 7-3 your final. Jays are in Baltimore for a 4-game set beginning later today, which features a doubleheader, first pitch 107.
For real. For real.
Chase Jackson, you are for real, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real, Chase Jackson, you are now the new interim head coach of the Edmonton Elks. They have a great receiving corps, and now you gotta get the defense to stop a few plays here and there, so you can win a damn football game. Real, for real, for real, real. The fan base wants a win, so let's get out there and do it, do it, do it. Let's get out there and get the Elks to win the Grey Cup. Celebrate with the boys with the 6 o'clock log. For real, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real. Let's go Elks.
Oh, let's go, Elks. I tell you, the Nasty Bash provided a heck of a moment for Atif. You don't know how many times you would have seen Atif sitting there in his chair and people around him, and everybody's just like That's when he's like, for real. And he was just like, for real. Like,
I was waiting for him to be kind of levitated up from the crowd, like just kind of for real, and he's kind of like that. I don't know how, but
I was surprised we didn't pick up his chair.
Yeah.
Take him around and for real. That was a good.
Got to
time,
watch
man.
the fourth quarter with old Latif and Francis yesterday down at Commonwealth, so that was pretty good. I got to go where they sit. In the,
And you were all over the place.
Oh,
there,
it was awesome.
Yeah. That was outside of the final result. It seemed like a pretty good time down at Commonwealth again yesterday.
And, given the circumstances, a pretty good crowd, I'll say that. And again, the tailgate, undefeated. Zach was looking good, hey? I think I lost touch with the boys. You didn't have your media pass. Zach was all he had. Edmonton Sports Talk butt up. He wanted to go.
He wanted to go into the booth.
Did you see him?
He wanted to go. I didn't see him in the press
Okay,
box. I don't know if he made it in there or not, but that was one of his big things.
Yep. He had the EST Cruiser out there as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, his RAV.
Locked and loaded.
I think we call it a RAV4, but I don't think it's a RAV4, is it? Anyway, he's got the EST Cruiser, Zach's vehicle. Yeah. Pretty good. Big Maple, early front runner for text of the day today. This is real nice. Reed Wilkins, more like Freed Wilkins.
I was going to
good,
go with
isn't it?
real Wilkins.
For Reed Wilkins. For Reed Wilkins. No. All right, let's get into that. Hurts for SBLLP, personal injury lawyers. Many of you might be hurt right now. You don't even know it. But these guys do. You just go down there and be like, hey, guys, can you just check to see if I have a personal injury?
A quick roundup.
No problem.
Yeah.
We'll make that work for you. They've got meetings scheduled today with Normology and X-Ray J after the nasty bash.
They're all waiting in the waiting room. You go in there, they're all
in the same clothes, the same pissy pants, and the same unbuttoned shirt as
Sir,
Friday
we've asked
night.
you before. Please button that shirt up. Eh?
Albertans suffer personal injuries and accidents every single day, but many of you too overwhelmed to seek the legal advice you need, right? Because it can be an intimidating process. Not anymore. Not with these guys. Just leave it in the hands of those who can look after you, the experts at SBLLP. They've got the experience to gather the evidence, advance your claim to ensure you get fair compensation, and the best part is you can just sit back and chill. Go to www.sb-llp.com, click on personal injury, or call 780-438-5281. No need to feel shame. Let SBLLP handle the claim. Well, 0-7 for a second consecutive year. That hurts.
Yep. And losing back-to-backs to Ottawa's, no offense, and to Hamilton's. I mean, you kind of thought, even starting the season as they had, after that bye week, you're going to get a little something. They haven't.
You just lost 3 in a row to the Red Blacks and the Ticats.
If you were gonna make hay, you were looking at those to do it. But
it hurts for the fan base. Like those, I know many of you. Well, man, I was talking about the running game over the weekend. Some people are still like, well, no, they should have never changed their name. This just in, idiots. That has nothing to do with their ability to run the ball. Does it have anything? Does it have something to do with lack of yeah, you know what? It has impacted some levels of the business. I'm going to give you that. But every single time you bring them up, somebody's like, whatever. They still the Eskimos. To me, congratulations, man. That's great. But you probably haven't watched a football game. You have no clue what this team is capable of or not capable of. And their running game has nothing to do with the name change. So just move on. Okay? Just move on. It's a ridiculous take. I'm sick and tired of it. But for the fans who are still there, who are still going, who have somehow miraculously improved the tailgate by so much over the last few years without anything to cheer for positively, this hurts for those fans. Like you walk through the tailgate before the game, and everybody's fired up. You're having a couple bevies. Everybody's so great. The kids yesterday, some lady just brought over chicken tenders for them.
Oh, God, the food.
They were in heaven. They were in absolute heaven yesterday. And then as I leave these Elks games and I'm walking past like the leftovers who are still in the, like yesterday's, like Scout and the whole crew, they just look so physically and mentally exhausted by cheering for this team right now.
Well, we're trying to solve it out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
We're trying to solve this puppy. That was kind of what was happening. But it's you go from the hoopla and the positivity of the tailgate to, again, ending the game in another loss, and you walking out of there at the time you do. It's.
I just feel so bad for these people, man. Like, everybody who keeps going wants a dub so badly, and they won't do it. And then I thought everybody in the stadium must have thought that when they came out for that second half, it was going to be Trey Ford at quarterback. Because when they trotted MBT out to start the third quarter, and they didn't get the ball until midway through the bloody third quarter, because Bo Levi Mitchell just picked his way down the field against that defense. When MBT ran out into the field midway through the third quarter, I think you could sense, it's like that Ralph Wiggin moment where you see his heart break on The Simpsons.
You can pinpoint it.
You could see it across Commonwealth. People were like, what the hell is going on? And you don't have an answer for him because you can't explain it yourself. That hurts. For the fans who are still going, for the fans who are still supporting, for the people who listen to this show and care about the football team, for the people who listen to our pre- and post-game show at Century Casino with Jay and Maddie, it hurts these people. You need to get this figured out. Somebody texted in, I think it was in the text, might have been in the nasty chat, where they said, whoever the new ownership is, and I had a couple of conversations about when that's going to happen. We'll get into that in a second. Didn't get a date, but sooner rather than later, but who knows? It's like just in lawyers' hands. And like you have
Christmas
to
is coming.
cross this off and dot this I and this small J and cross this T and things like that. What was I going to say?
Ownership timelines.
No, the text, the one message
sorry,
that said that the new ownership group should say whoever thinks that Trey Ford shouldn't start, you can just pack up your stuff and go. Now, here's the problem that they've done, is that they've kind of burned this bridge with Trey Ford, who could leave at the end of the season. You got MBT, who you're paying a bunch of money to, and you can't win a football game.
On a 1 year, right? Like, he's not coming back.
Like, what's the future plan at quarterback if it's not going to be Trey Ford? And you might as well see if he can handle it the rest of the way again this season.
Sell us on the hope, right?
Yeah.
Sell on the hope right now, at least. That
Geno Lewis told us a couple of weeks ago that Trey Ford is a much better pocket passer, in practice at least, than he was in practice last year.
Talking practice, but I'll take it.
Yeah, well, but
and coming from a guy like Geno, that's high praise.
But then he can move the way he moves,
Yeah.
and it changes everything.
And I think,
go ahead.
we talk about the offensive line as well and the struggles that it has. I mean, you have a static guy back there in MBT who, can't really run, and we all know what he's going to be doing. To me, that's a defense lining up at the buffet tray. But Trey can move that line around. Like, the line doesn't necessarily have to, get in there and full pass protect or whatever the case is. Trey's moving around. They can move around. He kind of takes what they can't do and takes the responsibility off of them. To have such a pocket passer like MBT with the line and the pass protection, I mean, I know there's lack in no run game whatsoever. But if you have an O-line that's weak in some areas or lesser than, you get a guy that can move around and move that line around, it helps out everybody. And it lessens the burden for that offensive line.
The last time this team won a game, it was September 15th of 2023. It's been 10 and a half months. They've now lost 11 in a row again. The last time you won, it was Trey Ford on the road against the Riders. Hell, he's 2-0 in his career against the Ticats. They wouldn't even start him against the Ticats this time. So, now that Riders team was not as strong as the Riders team that they're going to face this week. I'll tell you that. But it's now been 11 games in a row that they've lost going back to last season. That hurts. It all hurts for the personal injury lawyers over at SBLLP. Hit up their website, www.sb-llp.com. Belineski's going to chime in over here. We'll get to our good, bad, and ugly from the weekend. Jam-packed Monday show. Naylor's coming up. We'll get his thoughts on if they just go to Trey Ford now moving forward. What happens with Nathan Rourke if he's not claimed off of waivers by somebody today? We'll get into that as we work our way through the next hour. Wes Hodkiewicz, we're going to go down to Green Bay to talk about Jordan Love getting the bag from the Packers and what we should expect from Green Bay this year. We've got That's Good, Mix and Match Mondays coming up. I'm loading up Leon and Connor on the most recent set of Oilers line combinations because you know you want it. But Belineski says there was a noticeable difference in the other players' attitude when Trey took the field. Leak busted off a few big runs. Receivers are going above and beyond to make catches. And you laid it out nicely. You just have to approach the game differently as a defense when Trey Ford is in the game.
Much differently.
Whether you believe he's an amazing passer or not, he holds you accountable because you know he can take off and absolutely torch you. He played 10 minutes last night and already has a highlight reel escape from Casey Sales and then a play down the field that's one of the best plays in the entire league all season.
Rourke-esque.
Well, he's much more elusive than Nathan Rourke. Like, Nathan Rourke is incredible. Nathan Rourke is a better pocket passer than Trey Ford. Trey Ford's more elusive. I mean,
But just the excitement factor.
but the excitement
you
factor's
turn that
fine.
dial to 11. And again, 0-7. Why not?
can you imagine getting
Take the
two
reins off.
starting star Canadian quarterbacks in this league? Whew.
We need it.
Whew. All hot and bothered by it. But the last time they won, you know what else happened in that game against the Riders? Kevin Brown ran for 175 yards because things are going to open up for your running backs when you have a quarterback who's a threat to actually do something. And we'll see if they can take advantage of that if he starts this upcoming week. You know how disturbing it is that I have to say if he starts? Give me one reason he won't start.
Well, Fergie chimed into what I was thinking. MBT's got to have photos on somebody. He's got to have a collection of some pretty. I mean, but that's the example. If not now, when and why? 0-7. I mean, and what was exhibited yesterday down there too. I mean, with the brief appearance he had, and took off a few rushing yards as well. I mean, he was running around. It was, yeah. If not, give me a reason. Love to hear it.
Tyler and Terwilliger, who is a final tabler from the Nasty Bash. Good final table this year. Real nice final table. Larger final table than last year's final table. What is this, the World Series of Poker? And now we go to the final table. Anyway, Tyler and Terwilliger says, MBT kept coming out for the next drive like Normology kept coming back into the rugby club after he claimed he was leaving at the Nasty Bash. I've never seen anyone be in a zone like Normology was in at the end of the bash.
Well, he was just riding off the fumes.
Oh,
the applause. He's like,
so
in, out,
good.
in, out, like, in.
So good. All right, good, bad, and ugly from the weekend. Probably more on the Elks game here as well, but what's your good from the weekend, buddy?
Trey Ford. But we've just talked about him, so I will pivot. I will make a switch myself. I just think the Nasty Bash going back and then another great tailgate. It was a Friday night, and actually a pretty good night weather-wise. It was a little on the cooler side, shall we say. Nice to get out there. St. Albert Rugby Football Club. Fergie's there. He's got the pipes going. I mean, a great night. If you weren't there, told you you'd be missing out. So that was great. Saturday, bit of a day reprieve, get caught up. And then Sunday back at the tailgate. So 2 solid days on this weekend. Weather was great, and lots of mixing it up with the Nasties. Top drawer.
I'm not even going away from Trey Ford for my good.
Fair enough.
I mean, I know the Ticats were comfortably on top. I get it. If we want to describe it as garbage time, we can describe it as garbage time. I didn't think it was a situation where the Ticats were just dropping everybody and not bringing anything after Trey Ford. Like, they were trying to get to him. But for a guy, if you only get one opportunity, because this team has been so adamant on sticking with MBT, for Trey Ford to go out there and take advantage of that moment is good. It's good to see. It's good for him. The fan base wants this guy. Like, I don't know how dull you have to be as an organization when your team sucks. They're 0-7. Your fan base is literally, for the last 3 home games, been chanting, "We want Trey." You finally put him in. He brings them to their feet. And then you don't go back to him this weekend? No chance. No chance. He's got to start this week. It's
almost like they
automatic.
don't care what the fans think, hey?
No, this is not the Edmonton Oilers situation.
Thank you.
Like that,
Thank you.
but
Thank you for picking that up. No,
this
yeah.
is a good part of the conversation.
Yes. And this is an opportunity to say, hey, fans, we hear you. Here.
Yes.
We do listen to you. We do take what you say in stock, and we will.
The Edmonton Elks right now need every single fan they can get. The Oilers, they don't care about that. The Oilers got it lined up. The Oilers could come to your house, take a dump on the porch, and you'd be like, classic. I love this team.
Take a
But they could. They could.
And you would.
I mean, you would.
You would.
You'd save it and sell it to another fan for like $150. Swear to God, this is Jeff Jackson's dump. And people will be like, oh, my God, this is amazing. The Oilers are pooping on people's driveways now. But the Elks need every fan they can get. So when your fan base wants one thing and you have the power to grant them that wish, and it can't get any worse than the other stuff you've been rolling out there, it's an automatic. You got to do it. Have to do it.
Do it.
Bad from the weekend. What are you going with?
Nathan Rourke's time with the Giants.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have Naylor on later, but according to reports of what he took like 2 snaps.
I got a text name.
Yeah, the good one. It's just terrible. And again, we talk about Trey Ford up here not getting a chance, but Nathan Rourke really not getting a chance. I'd love it if both of them just said, you know what? CFL, let's go. Like, can you imagine the two of them up here dueling on teams that like really give them a like? This is you're a guy. Let's go. You've done the NFL flirtation. You've gone through those motions. Here, you want to play football? Play up here. They don't want you down there. I don't know. I'm kind of reading between the lines and reading Naylor's reports. It does seem like a little bit of that Canadianism, which I don't know how much you want to subscribe to that. It was a pretty packed room down there. Danny Dimes, Locke. You're not passing Tommy DeVito. God forbid.
Locke and Tommy DeVito.
God forbid you pass Tommy DeVito because the fan base would probably erupt down in Giants land. So.
The NFL with their quarterbacks is as bad as the NHL and their retread head coaches. It's these same guys who've never been able to get anything done, and they just keep popping up over and over and over again. And meanwhile, Nathan Rourke is like, every time you give me an opportunity, I look pretty good. And like, well, you'll get no more of those.
I just bring him home. It's enough. Now waivers today too, right? That's kind of the timeline.
Yeah, we'll figure out what happens. Well,
Yeah.
Naylor might have a good read on if he might get picked up somewhere. But
I don't want him to be down there holding clipboards and then it's like I'm gonna retire.
Not when you
from
become a
football, I'm
superstar
done.
up here. Like
come on.
Yeah. My bad from the weekend, and I don't want another one. But I also think it's bad we only get to have one Nasty Bash a year. I don't think technically we could handle a second one. But it's bad that we only have one.
I think you maybe and the Esties now are we turn our attention to the Esties.
And we do very heavily in August. We'll be talking Esties categories, Estie nominees. Please make a plan to join us September 17th for the Esties. Nobody's ever done this before in the market. Nobody else will ever do it again outside of us.
A highbrow affair as well than the Nasty Bash. I mean, there's a little more the martini crowd, you know.
The Nasty Bash is spring break.
Yeah.
The Esties are the Met Gala.
X-Ray J will have his white cowboy hat. He'll be
You won't be able to tell he pissed himself in his white pants. Classic.
A real beauty.
X-Ray J, you are a legend too, my man. I wasn't sure if he'd go there, but I was going, hey, Rip. From
That was the vibe.
What's your ugly from the weekend?
I didn't watch too much of it, but just hearing about what happened to George Russell at Spa, and Gager as always saw him actually. I didn't get to see Gager in the kitchen yesterday, but he did come down to the tailgate prior to the game. He was walking around. Yeah, so it was nice to see. But
What a legend.
He sent that message in our F1 group chat there or whatever, and George Russell denied. But Lewis Hamilton promoted to first place at the Belgian Grand Prix. They disqualify Russell because his car is too light. The weighted limits.
It was too light.
What are we doing here?
I don't know. This is why I maintain my current weight.
Well, and you go up on the podium, you do the whole, bottle and right. They went through all that process.
Yeah.
And then you find out like it's ugly.
That's an ugly one.
It's ugly for the sport.
My ugly is Italian flag bearer losing his ring during the opening ceremonies. His wedding ring. Loses his wedding ring during the opening ceremonies. Now, if you're going to lose your wedding ring, is, bearing the flag of your nation like the best possible time that you could, like, I can't think of a better situation where you call your wife and I'm like, I lost my ring. And they're like, where? And you're like, well, I was carrying the flag of Italy.
That's a MacGuffin, that ring.
The ring is a MacGuffin.
Gianmarco Tamberi is who you're talking about, and he has quite a long Instagram post
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my love. I'm so sorry.
Gotta say it like Italian. I'm sorry, my love.
I'm sorry, my love. Too much water. Too many kg lost in the past few months. So he's trimming down, and now he's in the water, and
It
boom,
happens.
it's off.
It
But this
happens.
is like, look at this. He really lays it all out here. We don't need to read the whole thing, but
Yeah, I think there's more going on there with this guy. Anyway, that's ugly. Jasmine.
it'll stay forever in the riverbed of the city of love. Wow. Is that- sure.
Jasmine to the inbox today. How about that news? Did everybody see that on Friday?
Well, hell.
Jasmine introduced on Friday, and AM Nasty, like many of you, Jasmine introduced as a coming up in September, regular contributor on the Hangout, preferably twice a week as her work schedule will allow it. But you're going to get a lot of Jasmine on the Hangout starting in September, which is very exciting. She texts in and says, how about a Halloween Nasty Bash party? I mean, it already looks like a costume party at the Nasty Bash.
Call it the Screamer.
The Screamer instead of the Howler.
The Yeller.
The Yeller.
Yeah. Steel Panther featuring.
No, Steel Panther available?
DJ Harmon B, maybe.
Here's, he'd probably do it.
Harmon would, of course.
I think he'd probably do it. Zulu says the opening ceremonies for the Olympics was ugly as it gets. We were talking about on the oil stream on Friday. I didn't necessarily like the boats.
What happened?
They did well. Everybody.
They all came in on a boat. Yeah. Yeah, whatever.
I don't know.
I heard that, but the water, because they've been getting a lot of rain, and now it's a heat wave, and that water that the mayor was swimming in, she's like, oh, look at it. She's drinking, spitting it out.
She have a huge rash now?
Well, now they can't go in.
What?
Because they said the water now, the whatever you want to call it, the condition of it isn't.
Well, this is when the mayor's got to double down.
She's got to get back in there, back in the chop.
Are you committed to La France or not?
City of Love.
Hey.
I did watch skateboarding yesterday. A 14-year-old took home a gold.
What?
In women's skateboarding. 14.
14
Getting
years
a
old?
gold medal in skateboarding.
How is
in
there
Paris.
not an adult anywhere in the world
I don't
that's better
understand
than
how
a
it works.
14-year-old in
Yeah.
skateboarding?
Don't get it.
Was it the street course? Was she grinding and stuff?
She ollies,
Ollies and
pop
stuff, yeah,
shovets, you know. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. My kids play Tony Hawk, and they take off because you can take off bailing, like you'll never fall down.
Oh yeah.
And they set up so they're just doing like they're on their hand at the top of a half pipe, and they're just balancing, and they'll leave it. They'll sit there and watch it for 25 minutes.
Well, what you
and
do-
just see the points go up.
You custom make a rail in a circle, and you
just
get the
keep
guy
going,
grinding
right?
on there. You put a weight down on X, and then you just walk away.
Yeah.
You get points coming up.
The first time I pulled off a trick for 100,000 points in Tony Hawk 1 was the greatest moment of my life.
Was it a
I
creative
was with a
skater?
bunch of
What
boys,
was your-
we're
yeah,
drinking and partying, and we'd never pull off a 100,000 point trick, and I did it, and it was just, I'll never give me a medal. Like,
It's a good party game with the boys, though.
Oh,
That
man.
was a good,
We used to play Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
I used to dress like a skateboarder just to play Tony Hawk.
Chad Muska, if you will.
It was, oh man. Hey, is Trey Ford a MacGuffin? The central figure that everybody's been going after the entire time?
The fan base is pursuing him in a sense, eh?
Right. I think Trey Ford might be the Elks MacGuffin. Mark Peugeot, Corey Graham, great seeing those guys
Yeah.
at the Nasty Bash. If you guys can confirm, is Trey Ford a MacGuffin? That would be great. Also, you know who else was at the Nasty Bash? Will Fraser.
Oh, and
Mrs.
Elizabeth.
Mrs.
Yep.
Fraser,
Yep.
who still has that huge crush on Dougie Wade, I'm sure.
They sent us a nice text message after too. I
it was
really like
awesome.
that. There were a lot. The Nasties were there, but there were a lot of people. Like, you mentioned Crush just popping in. Dean Millard was there for a grand total, I think, a half an hour.
Yeah, Dino came in. He was having a good time. It was good seeing Dino. It was just a great,
Yeah, real good time.
absolutely.
You should all be very proud of yourselves.
Yeah, that was awesome. This text is in this morning and says, "Morning, Jets. Is Reed just going afternoons or mornings as well?" No, Reed will be live every single afternoon from 3 to 6. So we will have, starting in September, Nielson Show, 6 to 9. Hangout, 9 to 11. Lock Shop, 11 to 12. Oil Stream / 2 Guys and a Goalie from 12 to 1. 1 to 3.
TBD.
TBD / TBA, and then 3 to 6 with Reed Wilkins and the Glue Guy. So, how's that for a lineup? It's the best in the city. I'm sorry. It just
6
is.
to 6.
We haven't even locked in 1 to 3 yet.
Oilers pre and post. Elks pre and post. Riverhawks. Stingers.
Hello Hockey. VIP Golf Show.
Stingers back on the air tonight as well, 7 o'clock. Final
Actually,
regular season game at home to Winnipeg.
Nielson family's going to that game.
Oh, beauty.
Yeah, we got tickets, and we're going to the game tonight. We're gonna be there, and I'm going to go buy a new pair of Nikes, so I look just like Damon Bunting when I'm down there. Bunting always has the best shoes in the business, so I got to.
It is another sports talk bowl as well as Huss's Winnipeg Sea Bears are in town, so a little bit of a grudge
Well, we'll
match
be betting it on the lock shop
Absolutely
today
will,
for sure. Yeah, 100%. This one says, my best friend lost his wedding ring on their honeymoon. Whitewater rafting. She fell off and pulled her back in, but he was pulling her in. He lost his ring. Not sure why he was wearing his ring. Well, wow. So he saved his fiance or his wife who fell off the boat, but lost the ring while saving her life.
Pretty good trade-off, I think.
I think you get a free pass on that one.
You should.
Free pass on that one. All right, we've got Dave Naylor coming up. He's going to join us just after 7 o'clock. We're going to go to Green Bay just after 7:30 today. Conch to everybody who came out to the Nasty Bash. We will see you at the Estes. And Normology, that shirt's got to stay up at the Estes. At least for a bit.
Highbrow, yeah.
At least for a bit. Dave Naylor is on the way. Is Nathan Rourke going to end up back in the Canadian Football League? And is there any way the Edmonton Elks don't start Trey Ford against the Riders on Saturday? Let's get to a sports update for Green Plan right now with Lieutenant Eric.
Edmonton Elks falling to 0-7. They drop a 44-28 decision of the Ticats from Commonwealth yesterday. Trey Ford, 10 of 15, 3 touchdowns in fourth quarter relief of McLeod Bethel Thompson. The Elks back at it Saturday at 5. They're in Regina to take on the 5-2 Rough Riders. The CEBL back on Edmonton Sports Talk tonight as the Stingers wrap up their regular season schedule at home to Winnipeg. Tip-off 7 o'clock. It's a game we'll have for you live here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Riverhawks doubling up Wenatchee 4-2 yesterday afternoon from Remax Field. Edmonton taking 2 of 3 from the Apple Sox over the weekend set. Riverhawks will end the regular season with a 9-game road trip that begins tomorrow night in Victoria. Prospects winning a thriller on the road, 16-11 over the Brooks Bombers. Prospects will host the Bombers tomorrow from Sherwood Park. Jays complete the weekend sweep of the Rangers yesterday, 7-3 your final. Jays are in Baltimore to begin a 4-game set later today in part of a doubleheader. First pitch 1:07 this afternoon. Sports Update brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental planning and consulting service. Whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential, plan it right with Green Plan. Visit green-plan.com or give them a call, 780-455-4292.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in on TuneIn, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind? 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tutti and Eric and all of the bad guys. Like Wyszynski and Noodles, Gadget and Gagent. Maybe it's fun but a cool band to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday Mandate. Sharky's always on time, Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some antics and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Beat left the tie of fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about Amanda Canes? Macramel, Rapapo, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him giving present, does he go for? What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Oh, there's nothing you can do about it. And there's nothing you want to do about it. It's the Nielson Show, brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Might as well hop on their website. Are you going to be at work today? Or are you going to just be skipping out and stuff anyway? You don't want to do anything. Might as well hop on the website, www.southfortchev.com, or go check them out, 10109 89th Ave out in Fort Sask. Go see Daniel and the team at South Fort Chev. Tell them we sent you, and they'll take excellent care of you. They'll also give you 15% off accessories for your new ride. We're hoping to have Dave Naylor. Looks like he popped up, but he's just on a dark screen right now. He's getting it sorted out. There we go. He's going to join us coming up here momentarily. We'll give you Mix and Match Mondays, another set of off-season line combinations for the Oilers. Cool Bet Canada hotline of the day. Just how much of a favorite are the Stingers at home tonight? How about that CEBL action for the Cool Bet hotline of the day? I'm going to go to that game tonight with the family. They're excited to check out some hoops locally. Should be a lot of fun. Wes Hodkiewicz is going to join us.
Wes Hod on Twitter.
Yeah, you just find him at Wes Hod. Not even he puts up his last name. Not even Wes can spell his own last name. That's why he's just Wes Hod. He covers the Green Bay Packers. He's going to join us just after 7:30 today as well. And that's good. We'll go there around 7:45 for Italian Center Shop. Picked up some donuts from Italian Center Shop yesterday, and we'll see who gets the first pick and what they choose. Coming up with myself, YouTube Trev, and Lieutenant Eric. Right now, though, we have Dave Naylor. A bunch of stuff to get to with Naylor. He's been at Jets camp. He's been at Giants camp. We're going to talk about Nathan Rourke for sure as well. But we got to start with the Edmonton Elks, who go to 0-7. They get Trey Ford into the game, throws for over 120 yards, 3 touchdowns in the final 10 minutes. The storylines that keep popping up here at Edmonton are unreal, Dave.
I was thinking that last night as I was watching this game, because we all knew there was going to be a dynamic at play when they signed McLeod Bethel-Thompson, and what if they don't win, and what if they're close losses but McLeod's playing well, and how long does it go on, and what if Trey gets in, and like everything you sort of hypothesized back in the winter has happened, to the extreme, I might add, like the 4 straight 3-point losses. Trey finally goes in, and he's not just good, he's great. Fascinating dynamic around this team. And look, I'm not part of the pile on why have the Elks benched Trey Ford crowd, okay? I understand why going into this season, they chose a player with a high floor over a player with a high ceiling. And that's McLeod Bethel-Thompson, right? He generally gives you a level of play based on his experience and style of play. And Trey Ford can give you something else. But in a player as inexperienced as Trey Ford, you're also getting a wider variance likely in the kind of play you're going to get. And they wanted to go with a higher floor, which, I think was defendable till the last couple of games when the offense has regressed. I mean, they're not getting better. And when you saw what Trey Ford did in last night, I know there's sort of an incredulous sense of like, okay, this has to be done now, right? But let's wait and see, because and I don't know McLeod Bethel-Thompson very well, but I remember when he got pulled in a 44-3 game at BC in 2022 for Chad Kelly, and he was demonstrative on the sidelines, and it was like maybe it would have been 44-3, but it was a blowout. Like it was a game where you would put in the number 2, and of course his comments 2 weeks ago after the Ottawa game, and I haven't seen any comments from him post-game last night. I don't know whether he spoke to the media.
I don't think he spoke. I know Tommy was down there doing posts. He didn't speak. So
yeah. So I saw Jarius's comments and Trey. So my sense is, he didn't come out of semi-retirement or, whatever it was to back up. He came here to play. And I don't know if he's the easiest guy to stick to the bench if they make this change. And so there's a lot of drama, I think, around the quarterback situation with the Elks.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about it today in that, I think in a lot of situations you sit there and go, well, of course Trey Ford is going to start against the Riders coming up. But then we also thought at halftime yesterday, we said, well, of course they'll start Trey Ford in the second half. And they went back to MBT. Jarius Jackson said to Tommy in the sidelines, we're sticking with him. And then it got so bad that they're like, okay, well, we might as well give Trey some time. So, I mean, the fan base is dying to see more Trey Ford. You had a glimpse of him. It would be quite the decision for at least the way it would be viewed in this city if they decide to start MBT against the Riders and it leads to another loss, Dave. I mean, I don't know who will show up at the next home game. I'm not even kidding.
Well, and again, you have the history that they only won 4 games last year, and they were all won by Trey Ford.
Yeah.
Right. So, or with him playing quarterback. So I don't like to attribute wins and losses as a quarterback stat because quarterbacks aren't on the field for 2/3 of the game. So I think it's always important not to hang wins and losses on one guy in a sport like this. But no, when you combine it with what happened last year, and here's the other thing I was thinking about this, and this is more of an NFL thing than it is in the CFL, but we're kind of in a situation where you could see the Elks thinking along this way. When you look at, let's use an example, Drake May taken by the New England Patriots. Okay. He's the young guy. He's the future of the Patriots. But they're probably going to start Jacoby Brissett this season, right? But and maybe if the season goes well and they're competitive, maybe he plays for most of the year. And again, I think we've seen examples with, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, what the Falcons are doing with Michael Penix. It's okay to take a talented young player and think that it's in his best interest to not play right away. But in a lot of these NFL situations, it's a matter of when, not if. You've identified your guy, and you're going to make that change. I kind of feel like that's where the Elks are, especially once you got to 0-6. Okay, you're probably not winning the Grey Cup this year. McLeod Bethel-Thompson isn't your future. At some point, you're going to make this transition to see if Trey Ford is, especially since he's a free agent at the end of the year. And you're probably going to have a whole new coaching staff, and they're going to need to see, what he can do. So it kind of feels like, again, not out of the gate, but once you get to a certain point in the schedule, you should be in that sort of passing the torch, mentality. And that's what it feels like. Now, part of the reason I'm not piling on the Elks about not playing Trey Ford at the start of the year is I'm not sure that was the worst thing for his development. I mean, the thing about Trey Ford is he didn't play that much football in university because it was COVID, right? And the OU on Canadian universities already play a relatively short schedule. If you actually look at the number of games he played, it's not a lot. So I think you could argue that part of the reason Trey Ford, looked as good as he did last night, and maybe is prepped for success, is that they didn't rush him into the starting job. And that made, that I think there's benefits to that. But all that said, I think the time has come, right? And it's, I don't want to say unimaginable, but I would say difficult to imagine that McLeod Bethel-Thompson trots out as a starter next week against Saskatchewan. I just from my perspective, because Trey Ford couldn't have been more dynamic last night, and the offense couldn't have been more stale than it was under McLeod Bethel-Thompson in the first 2.5 quarters, 3 quarters.
Dave, sticking with Canadian quarterbacks, the one you've been following somewhat closer down on the other side of the border, Nathan Rourke, of course, waived by the Giants. You were reporting 0 reps in team drills the first 2 days of camp. Daniel Jones, Locke, Tommy DeVito. I mean, God forbid you beat out a guy like Tommy DeVito down there in New York Giants. But where's the timeline on this? And I think, you're talking with Trey Ford here, and you mentioned, too, the NFL situational for a guy like Rourke. So 2 o'clock this afternoon, I think that's the next kind of time we'll know in terms of waivers. But I guess on that situational theme, where is the next situation for him in the NFL? I mean, he's been bouncing around, or is the situation up here to which a lot of fans are kind of getting giddy about and maybe hoping for under their breath?
Well, I put out a tweet about this, about just kind of the situational nature for quarterbacks who are not drafted or late round draft picks and don't have play time on their resume. I mean, Tommy DeVito didn't play for the Giants last year because people decided he was ready and was a good idea. It was basically he was the next man up, right? And when you look even around, I remember Farhan and I talking about this last year, that so many AFC quarterbacks were going down, and it's like a lottery. You join a team, and you don't mean to hope for injuries to somebody else, but there's certain players that know the only way they're ever going to play is if the guys before them really stink it up or get hurt. And that's basically the category that all undrafted quarterbacks fall into. And if you find guys who have ascended from those positions, you'll find that the depth chart usually melted down in front of them. Brock Purdy. If you look at what happened when Jeff Garcia went to the Canadian Football League 25 years ago, the depth chart pretty much melted down in front of him, and he got an opportunity to play. The Giants claimed Nathan Rourke right after the NFL draft. And at that time, they have Daniel Jones as their starter coming off an ACL, which you're never really sure how a guy's going to be when he gets to camp. It looks kind of in retrospect, especially, like that was a signing as insurance in case Daniel Jones had a setback and you're going to need 3 quarterbacks at camp. But one of the things I noted when I was at Giants camp last week is Daniel Jones was doing a lot of running around for a guy coming off an ACL. He looked fine. So they get to the point where they're like, okay, we've got 3 healthy quarterbacks. We haven't got enough reps for our 4th guy. All 3 of the others have either started games in the NFL or played for us. All of them have started games in the NFL, and 2 of them have played for us. We got a couple guys coming off the PUP list, which is injuries. We got a roster crunch. The 4th quarterback is the guy who goes. And there's really nothing in that teaches you or that you can draw from for any significance about whether Nathan Rourke can play in the National Football League. Yeah. And I know a lot of people look at that and say, cut in 3 days. Told you he couldn't play down there. Well, like I said, he wasn't getting reps. You know, it's not like anything that he did. I mean, literally watching reps where they would go into team drills and it would go Jones, Locke, DeVito, back to the top. Jones, Locke, DeVito. And Nathan's, standing there just doing mental reps, and for a guy who's played as much football as he has and played as well as he has at every level throughout his career, you can understand how that would be frustrating, especially since you were a 3 a year ago and this year you're a 4.
This, as for a possible return to the Canadian Football League, we'd be looking beginning of next season, if at all, right, Dave?
I would have told you that 48 hours ago, guaranteed.
Okay.
But I haven't spoke to his representative. I called him yesterday, and he did not return my call, and he's a guy I know pretty well. As you mentioned, Nathan comes off the waiver claim list today at 2 p.m. your time. So his future is not in his hands right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's claimed by an NFL team, he's their property. And unless he wants to ask for his release after he's claimed so he can go to Canada, he doesn't have the option to go to Canada. He's going to be under contract to somebody. They own it. They're under his property. So it's not even his option right now. But again, having not spoken to his representative or to him since he was put on waivers by the Giants, I mean, look, I think it's possible it could be a different situation because there's still what are we, week 7 in the CFL, 8, so thereabout?
We're heading into week 9 now. Yeah, we just finished week 8.
We got 8 in the books. So we got 8 in the books. It's a 21-week season. You're talking about 13 weeks of football.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Nathan Rourke, who, other than playing 4 quarters of preseason football in the NFL, hasn't played in 20 months. So is he going to want to come and play now if there's no interest in the NFL? Or is he going to want to push this till next June where you're getting to the point where he hasn't played in, almost 30 months? I couldn't say for sure that it's a given that he's not going to want to return to the CFL this year at all, given the situation that happens. I mean, if he clears waivers and no one's interested, and again, this is a tough time of year to get landed, right? Because everybody's trying to fit guys on their 90-man roster. It's not an easy time to fit in. So I would not rule it out. And then, again, part of that is because there's a bit of void of information from his side. And 2 is it's July, man. And it's a lot different getting cut and set on the street in July than it is the first week of September. If he was a September cut, I would have told you 100% he's going to wait it out. But, boy, it's a his next move, if he clears waivers today, will be fascinating.
Yeah.
And it will have ripple effects across this league. There's no question.
Well, you better have that news shortly after 2:00, Taylor. I'm just telling you, you better get on this.
I'll tell you what I'll be doing at that time. I'll be refresh, every 10 seconds.
Hey, before we let you go, you hit Giants camp. We talked about the Giants.
Yeah.
You also hit Jets camp, and I want to know what's the vibe like with Aaron Rodgers popping in for once.
Well, and popping in is the right expression, because I got to tell you this. So I go to the first day of Jets report day, right? And they've got 4 players listed that are going to speak that day. And Aaron Rodgers isn't one of them. But, so you talk to the media staff and you say, well, is he talking tomorrow? And again, I cover a lot of NFL stuff where they're pretty straight up about who's talking. It's not a mystery, hey, this guy's going, when I'm in the Bills, this is Josh Allen day, blah, blah. So anyway, so you ask them, is he talking tomorrow? Yeah, we don't know. Well, because we'll come back if he's talking tomorrow. Yeah, we don't know. Okay, so we change a couple flights, reverse our schedule, play our hunch, go back to the Jets on the first day of practice. They walk into the building. There's 2 names on the board who are talking. Neither of them is Aaron Rodgers. Okay. So we go to practice, watch practice, go to the podium. 2 guys come up. Long pause. Endless pause. 30 reporters sitting there staring at each other. No announcement about what's happening, but everyone's just kind of anticipating this is going to happen. All of a sudden, a Jets official comes in and says, Aaron will be right out. Oh. But it was pop in. Exactly. Yeah. He's going to pop in. It was just, and I think the reason for it, I don't think the Jets staff is trying to be difficult. I think it's just up to his whim at the last minute, right? Hey, so he did come up, and, I'd say the one thing I was intrigued about with Aaron Rodgers in this case is that he's a guy who's always had other interests outside of football and all these things that would look like distractions, and they've never, ever gotten in the way of football, right? Whether it's ayahuasca or sitting in the dark or, entertaining politics. it's never gotten in the way of what he does. But when he missed OTAs in June, a lot of people looked at it and said, okay, now this has crossed a line, right? He's 40, he's coming off an injury, and he's not even at OTAs. And as he rather eloquently explained, he had booked a trip to Egypt based on the previous year's schedule, couldn't change things around, and I think pretty well dismissed any notion that he's anything but all locked in on this Jets team. But it was just also just funny how he does his own beat, because it was so clear from Robert Saleh to all the players that spoke. They don't talk about the Super Bowl. They don't talk about winning the division. They don't talk about expectations. It's like in the moment, day to day, we're going to be the best team we can be today, every single day. And Aaron Rodgers comes up and like totally breaks the message that, well, I mean, the goal is to get to New Orleans, right? Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's like Bill does his own thing, and and then tag Garrett Wilson as, should be the best receiver in the NFL. So, set some expectations there as well. It was very entertaining. Not to mention the trip to Egypt, the camel riding, and the beautiful, like, subtle thing that he dropped in. He had been a fan of ancient Egypt since for 3 decades, since he was in gifted school. Like, he mentioned that he was in gifted school.
Oh my God!
Really? Did you just drop that you were in gifted school?
Oh my God, that's great, man. That's worth it. That's worth being there for you. That's for sure.
Was it. That was
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Dave, great chat with you, man. Thanks a lot for the time.
All right, take care. See ya.
Oh, Rodgers was in some type of school.
Oh, sure, yeah, gifted.
Ever since I was in gifted school. My God.
Sounds weird.
Do it, Trev.
Yeah.
Changing 100.
Changing 100. Listen, did you not realize what happened on Friday? We hired Reed Wilkins on Friday. We should be changing $1 million right now.
For Reed.
If you're watching on YouTube right now and you like the idea of Reed Wilkins leaving his previous employment to come join us, hammer the thumbs up on YouTube. Let's go.
For Reed. For Reed.
Oh.
For Reed.
God. Atif, do it.
The remix. The Reed
Make
Wilkins
it so. The for real Reed for Reed remix. I want that. I want that badly. Badly. Let's do that. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Yeah, I went to gifted school. My goodness. What a guy. What a guy. All right, who wants some Oilers line combinations? You sick people. We'll do it, though. We'll do it. If we hit 1 million thumbs up by the end of the show, we'll give you line combinations. Just kidding.
You wanted to talk Broberg, I think, too, eh?
I got line Oh, yeah. That was on my list today. Broberg expectations. Let me write that down.
Yeah.
See if we can get to that maybe in hour number 3. That's the first thing we'll discuss with Reed. Reed Wilkins is going to join us after leaving 6:30 Ched to come over and sit him down and go, so what do you think about Broberg?
Right into the business.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a strange one.
Roll up those sleeves.
We'll try to get to that at some point. Mix and Match Mondays brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. We had Christian from Winnipeg who rolled in. He's like, one of the things he said, he goes, on Saturday I'm going to Pro-Am Sports. I thought, man, what a guy.
I think he mentioned the word granddaddy as well, or whatever. This is the sale. Hey, once it's on the sale.
Oh, yeah. Well, who doesn't?
Tell him EST sent you.
Who doesn't? Mix and Match Mondays for Pro-Am Sports. You hop on their website right now at proamsports.ca. You're looking for jerseys? They got it. You're looking for NFL hats? They got it. You're looking for Major League Baseball hats, especially if you're a huge fan of a team tearing it all down because they sucked again? They got Blue Jays hats. You can get the Blue Jays hats there as well. You need something framed? They got it. You're ready to load up on that brand new Oilers jersey? They've got you covered there as well. Proamsports.ca is where you can find it, kind of get a good preview, and then head on in and take advantage of, well, I'll just say it, an awesome place ran by awesome people. Corner of 128th Ave, St. Albert Trail in Edmonton. Or, of course, like I said, you can visit their website, proamsports.ca. All right, boys. We'll get your Cool Bet Canada hotline of the day coming up. Wes Hodkiewicz is going to join us. Covers the Green Bay Packers, and then that's good on the way before 8 o'clock. Busy show. So if you are watching over on YouTube, trying to make that push to 10,000 subs before our 1-year anniversary, which is about a month and a little bit away. We're closing in on 9,600. So if you're not yet subbed, we would appreciate that this morning. That would be great. Here we go. I'm loading up McDavid and Draisaitl. And I know many of you today will be sitting here going, oh, McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman. Interesting. Not me.
What?
I'm not a puppet. I don't think that's the way it has to be. We're here to do Mix and Match Mondays for the conversation. Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Victor Arvidsson on the right side, a scrappy puppy.
And you got Draisaitl in the middle, right? McDavid on the.
You can flip them. It doesn't matter where you play them because they're the two best players in the world.
Leon, Connor, and Victor.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
The LCV line.
Now what?
That's where it gets interesting.
Yes.
This is where it really gets interesting. All right, we're going to go Nuge in the middle
Okay.
with Hyman on the right side. And the new acquisition, Jeff Skinner,
Skinny boy.
on the left side, right? Hyman will go get that puck. He'll get to Nuge. Nuge finds Skinner. Skinner's a shooter. Skinner shoots it, rebounds there, and Hyman banks it in. Can you ask for a better 1-2-3 punch? Nuge, Hyman, Skinner. Make it so.
It's good top six.
Make it so. How about this
That's
top
a great
six?
top six.
How about this top six?
Now.
This is exciting,
Now it
isn't
gets
it?
interesting.
Now, this is where you wonder who's going to be in the bottom six. Oh, Henrique centering your third line with Dylan Holloway on one side, whichever side you want,
Yep.
and a healthy Evander Kane,
Kane.
on the other side.
Kane.
Henrique, Holloway, and Kane, or as I like to call it, the Hay line.
By God, that's Kane.
H-E-H.
H-E-H.
Hey, oh my God! You know who my favorite line is? The headline.
I want the crowd going,
We want we want That's still better than let's go Oilers. Give us a we want chant.
Everybody clap your hands.
Henrique, Evander, Holloway.
Now it gets
Or
interesting.
I mean, there's a few ways you can do it. Because there's the Dylan Holloway, the E in Evander Kane makes it very interesting. And you got the A, the DEA line.
You got options.
Drug enforcement.
DEA
The
line,
DEA,
I like that,
DEA
yeah.
line. I mean, that's something you can look at as well. So Kane, Henrique, and Holloway. If you're liking these line combinations, hammer the thumbs up. And then your fourth line, Derek Ryan, Corey Perry, Matisse Janmark.
Okay.
But I like that top nine.
Where's
It's
Connor
a different
Brown?
look.
Where's Connor?
Oh, man, Connor Brown.
Connor Brown.
How did I not have Connor Brown? Well, then Perry's out and Connor Brown's in the fourth
Okay.
line.
So
I like that line a
yeah.
lot more.
Okay. Yeah.
Ryan, Janmark, and Brown. And then Perry and be your third team.
Well, there we
Now
go.
I really like that
That's-
fourth line. Yeah. Man, there's a world here where at some point in the summer, I'm putting Connor Brown in the top six.
Well, I'm waiting for
I'm
Hollywood
doing
to get
it.
up there too.
I'm doing it.
You're gonna.
How about a Connor Brown, Dylan Holloway line in the top six?
This is summer, baby.
And then your third line, something ridiculous like Nuge,
Yeah.
Kane, and Arvidsson.
Yeah.
You want to get nuts?
Yeah.
We'll get nuts. We'll get nuts right now.
You're mixing it up.
There you go. Mix and match Mondays on a scale of 1 to 10. I mean, I'm giving this like a 6. I don't like those two guys together.
July 29.
Draisaitl, McDavid. But look, we banged out 9 out of 10s. We've banged out 8 out of 10s. They're not all going to be Picassos.
There's only so many combos to go around.
This is a 6 out of 10.
Johnny Alberta wants the PP and PK lines.
Never.
Plenty of summer left, he says.
Well, there's plenty of summer left. We'll definitely have Power Play Week. That'll be great. YouTube Trav, you've been grading me on
Play
these.
week.
What do you think about this?
This is
Go ahead.
interesting.
He's not S.
I'm gonna say this is. Oh, I'd give it a 7. A 7.
I knew you'd still have it higher
So
than I
I
have.
I have it a little higher than you. Obviously the first line that just screams at you. It's gonna be beautiful. If that line's a line this year, I'd love to see it. Arvidsson's just a sniper. Like he is a natural sniper. If you watch some of his highlight reels, he's got a wicked one-timer, which would be awesome on that line. But he's also got underrated playmaking abilities, and he's fast. He's kind of like Hyman. So I like that a lot. The second line is kind of where we had Joe DiBiase on. He's from Joey DiBiase, Locked On Sabres on Hello Hockey, and
Love that name, DiBiase.
Yeah, it's sick last name for
Ted's
sure.
son.
Yeah, but he came by to talk about, Skinner and Savoy joining the Oilers and whatnot. And he said Skinner, he had a down year this year. Part of that was because of Tage Thompson. He also had a down year, so he's more of a complementary player than a driver. And it's been tricky at times with Nuge. That's kind of been his struggles, right? He really strives on playing with Connor or Leon, but like centering his own line at times, he's kind of struggled. But I mean, Hyman had a career year. He is playing with really good players, so I like the idea of it, but I'd have to see that one first. But still, Solid job, Dusty.
I think what's very interesting here is that it does show that not every line combination is going to be a banger.
Yeah.
You know, like it's still,
What? With this,
Well,
with
look,
this
I-
forward
look-
group that's been comprised?
I get it. It's still a good group, but it's not one it's not a super sexy combination.
Yeah.
Bones is in. It's a 6 out of 10. I contend that any nuclear option should be docked 4 points automatically.
Wow.
With that being said,
Right out of the chute.
if he's automatically docking me 4 points, that means I got a perfect 6 out of 6 with the rest of the group.
I guess, yeah, that's the math.
I'll take that.
That rough math.
I'll take that. Krager's in and says, no, I'm definitely not liking these lines at all. What are you smoking this morning, Dusty? Look, Krager, I peaked in week one.
Yeah.
I laid out a brilliant lineup that Sailor ended up putting together, and it won the Stanley Cup on NHL 24.
You knew after that it was going to be a tough rest of the run here,
What am I
but you're
supposed to do?
grinding here, right?
Deliver
Like,
a Stanley Cup every single week?
Kevin Moss gives you a 6.9 out of 10 this morning, so.
Classic. All right. We get your Cool Bet Canada hotline of the day. Then a quick update. Then Wes Hodkiewicz is going to join us. He covers the Green Bay Packers. We got to go CBL. Sea Bears, Stingers. The old EST-WST rivalry. If you go to coolbet.com right now, if you want to sign up, you can use the code LOCKSHOP. When you do, you get a bonus there. And then click on CEBL. You got the Brampton Honey Badgers and the Ottawa Blackjacks. And this is a great league for names. It really is.
Yeah.
Except for what's the one that I hate?
Sea Lions.
Sea Lions. Brutal.
Yeah. There are no sea bears.
See, I take sea bears. I've seen bears in the sea. I've never seen a lion in a sea.
That's the bridge or whatever, right?
Anyway, Winnipeg Sea Bears and Edmonton Stingers with the Nielson family in attendance tonight. We got to ride with the Stingers.
Yeah.
Money line, they're minus 182. Don't necessarily love the value there. So let's go with the Edmonton Stingers minus 3.5 at home tonight against the Sea Bears. Also don't necessarily hate the under of 183.5. But Stingers minus 3.5 at home tonight. The Stingers right now have the third best odds to win the CEBL. Niagara River Lions. There they are. The River Lions.
They're up there, yeah.
Plus 150. The Vancouver Bandits at plus 210. And the Stingers at plus 530.
Stingers haven't played in a week as well, I do believe, since their last appearance on the court, but still maintaining second.
I'm excited to get to this game tonight.
Holding off the surge, yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Stingers minus 3.5 at home against the Sea Bears tonight. If you're going to that basketball game, we will see you down there. All right, on the way, sports update for the great staff at Park Mazda. And we'll head to Green Bay where Jordan Love got paid big time. We're going to go there coming up next. That's good on the way as well. Lots to get to on the That's Good today for Italian Center Shop, including Donut Draft, as we got a dozen delicious ones just sitting there waiting for us this morning. Let's get to a sports update right now with LT.
Trey Ford going 10 of 15 with 3 touchdowns in fourth quarter relief of McLeod Bethel Thompson. Not enough, though, as the Elks fell to 0-7 with a 44-28 loss to the Tiger Cats. Elks will be back on the field Saturday at 5 as they visit the 5-2 Saskatchewan Roughriders. Second place Edmonton Stingers wrap up the CEBL regular season schedule at home to Winnipeg tonight. It's a game we'll have for you live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, coverage starting at 7 o'clock. Riverhawks taking 2 of 3 from the Apple Sox over the weekend following yesterday's 4-2 victory down at Remax. Riverhawks will end the regular season with a 9-game road trip that begins tomorrow night in Victoria. Prospects with a 16-11 road victory over Brooks yesterday. The Prospects host the Bombers tomorrow from Sherwood Park. Jays complete the weekend sweep of the Rangers yesterday, 7-3 your final. Toronto visit Baltimore for a 4-game set beginning later this afternoon with a doubleheader first pitch 1:07. Sports update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where if Trey Ford can't find a spot on the Elks, there's always a job for him waiting at Park Mazda.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you can afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a figure skater. He wears like a white outfit and he does interpretive ice dances to my life's journey.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Wye Road, parkmazda.ca. The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
$7:36 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here. Dustin Nielson and Lieutenant Eric with you. You can text us anytime at 780-218-9999. That gets you into the Paris Jewelers inbox today. 22 locations in 4 provinces across the country. One great website, www.parisjewelers.com. We're coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. And hey, Popeyes, if you're looking for lunch today, why not hit up Popeyes and why not get your hands on some of those boneless wings that are in the house right now at all Popeyes locations? That's good for Italian Center Shop coming up around 7:45 today. And Reed Wilkins will make his first appearance on Edmonton Sports Talk since becoming an employee of Edmonton Sports Talk. YouTube Trev is so excited over there. He's going to sit right here in between us and be hilarious this morning. So that should be a lot of fun. Reed will also be on the Hangout today as well. And if you missed it, we announced it on Friday at the Nasty Bash, the Reed Wilkins Show. Every single day starting in September from 3 to 6 on your drive home here on Edmonton Sports Talk. No need to go anywhere else as we move to full 6 to 6 programming, not to mention pre and post for the Oilers and the Elks and live Riverhawks and live Stingers games. It's been an excellent first year growing this this fun thing that we've got here at Edmonton Sports Talk, and Reed Wilkins is excited to be a part of that. You know who else is excited right now? Jordan Love, because he became super duper rich. Got a big deal from the Green Bay Packers. To discuss this right now, a man who's covered the Packers for a long, long time. Wes Hodkiewicz joins us on the show this morning. Wes, we appreciate the time, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I always enjoy these because I know when something big happens, Edmonton's going to be calling, and
it's time.
I was excited to hear guys your voice again.
As soon as you saw the news, you're like, yes, Edmonton Sports Talk here. Perfect. This is great.
Do it. Hey, listening to you guys talk about it, how things have grown, that's incredible to hear. This is always one of my favorite interviews of the year.
Well, thanks a lot, man. We really appreciate that. Jordan Love, I mean, he gets the absolute bag. Had an excellent second half to last season. You could see it sort of trending in this direction. So I'm not sure you were surprised by the number, but what was the reaction to it down there?
Yeah, I think it all makes sense, right? I mean, this is something that, even listening to Brian Gutekunst, the Packers general manager, talk about earlier this week, they knew what the ballpark figure was going to be. You've seen where a lot of these quarterback contracts have come in at. It's just all the other details that go into it and making sure you get all the I's dotted and, the T's crossed. So, for the Packers, I mean, you guys, I think we've probably talked about this in the past too. I mean, Jordan Love, for the past 4.5 years, this is a young man, incredibly talented. As you were saying, probably one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the second half of last season in the National Football League. But he's done every single thing right since the very beginning, from coming in as a first-round pick, learning from Aaron Rodgers, having the right attitude about that, building a friendship with Rodgers. And then when the moment finally came and the lights were firmly blasting on him, this guy stepped up. He was not shaken, not rattled by it. And for the Green Bay Packers, I think this is, if you know this locker room, you can know these players, these coaches, the amount of respect they have for Jordan Love, and just seeing what the vibe was in their last couple of days. I mean, people are super excited for this guy to get that contract.
So now as you look ahead to this season, we can put expectations on him. He's also got that young receiving group there right now as well. And, I think all of them are very talented. It'll be interesting to see how they're used, but who do you see sort of separating themselves from that group and becoming Love's go-to guy?
Yeah, it's funny because I've always likened this to kind of a buffet of options that the Packers have. I mean, if you want your possession receiver, a guy that's going to run the right routes, be able to move the markers, that's Romeo Doubs. I mean, he's been a guy that has had that relationship with Love from the very beginning. When Love was on the scout team in 2022, that was the first quarterback that was throwing to Doubs, and they've built that relationship. Christian Watson is the home run hitter, the guy that runs in the 4.3s at 6'4", 208 pounds. They feel like they got some answers with his hamstring injuries this offseason. He was at UW-Madison, 2.5 hours south of Green Bay, getting some intel into that and trying to figure out how to balance out his hamstrings and avoid those injuries. And then there's Jaden Reed, who was their leading receiver last year out of Michigan State, where this is a guy that you can use him on end around. You can use him, in the slot. You can use him on slants. He has some big play potential. Dontavian Wicks, the 5th rounder last year from Virginia, he came out of nowhere and was among the league leaders in yards per catch. So it can go so many different ways. But I think when you look at the totality of it, the Packers needed all those receivers to get through last season. And by and large, Love was able to develop a rapport with all of them.
Wes Hodkiewicz joining us now, senior writer, Packers.com. I just wanted to quickly, Wes, take a look at your Twitter account, July 23rd. Cover Sports, they said you tweeted. It'll be fun, they said you tweeted. And it's you standing, just owning the rain, which, you killed it, man. You killed it. That one. Some heavy downpour there. I wanted to turn your thoughts, though, from offense to defense here. And just taking a look at that side, Matt LaFleur, 3rd DC in his 6 seasons. Jeff Hafley. Boston College now, to my understanding, switching from a 3-4 to a 4-3, a little more aggressive attacking style defense, and a brand new safety in the fold too. What can you tell fans, Packers fans and otherwise, about this defense, what the expectations are, and especially from that safety spot?
Yeah, starting off with just the safety position, that's probably the one that's flashed the most to the first week of training camp. I mean, the Packers completely overhauled that position. There's only 2 guys that were back from last season from that entire position group that spent the entire year on the roster, and that's Anthony Johnson Jr., who is in the competition for a starting role, and Zane Anderson, who is mostly a special teamer. They went and signed Xavier McKinney, basically made him one of the highest paid safeties in the league from the New York Giants. They felt comfortable doing that because he was a team captain, still only 24 years old, feel like he has his best years in front of him. They tripled down in the draft. They drafted 3 safeties. Javon Bullard out of Georgia was a second safety off the board later in the 2nd round. And then Evan Williams out of Oregon. And I'm telling you guys, this dude, 4th round pick, but he has really, really looked good so far in camp. Just a smart, heady player. Already has 3 interceptions the first week. Both of those guys offer them some flexibility that could potentially play in the nickel or the dime of the slub packages. So the Packers wanted a different vibe there, and they've gotten it. Certainly Hafley's background is as a secondary coach, so I think that meshes up really well. But the other part of that is the defensive front. And with going to the 4-3, kind of pinning the ears back of these defensive linemen a little bit more instead of the read and react and filling gaps, they've been able to really disrupt the Packers' offensive line for the first week. I mean, they have been causing havoc there. I mean, Rashawn Gary, who got a big extension last year, has been a real problem. Preston Smith is back. And then Kenny Clark, who was extended a week ago. They have a number of guys that they feel like they can rotate, keep fresh, and really keep the pressure on the opposition. And this is a big year for the defense. As you said, I mean, there's been high expectations before for the Packers on the defensive side of the ball. They feel like Hafley is the one that's really going to be able to fulfill that vision.
Wes, last one before we let you go, man, and I can't not help but ask selfish fantasy football questions. So they bring in Josh Jacobs this year at running back, and I mean I think he's going to be a great fit in this offense. They still have A.J. Dillon. By all accounts, Marshawn Lloyd's been handling something like the 3rd down. They might view him as a 3rd down back. So how heavy of workload are you expecting for Josh Jacobs in this offense?
Yeah, they said even back in the spring that they're not anticipating he'll probably have the 300 per year touches average that I think he had over those 5 years with the Raiders. I mean, that's just typically not the way they do things if you look at the way that Aaron Jones was utilized. But that being said, there is a massive opportunity here for Josh Jacobs, and he is going to be undisputed the lead back of that offense. And the other aspect of it, too, Matt LaFleur loves to use running backs in the passing game. Now, Jacobs has been used in that facet before. He still doesn't have a receiving touchdown in his career. That's something that Jordan Love has actually talked about, kind of looking forward to maybe getting that aspect of his game going and using him more in the red zone in that capacity. But I think the way that this thing is built, the culture of that locker room, and really the structure of this offense 5 years in now, for as much turnover as there's been on the defense side of the ball, a lot of familiar faces that have been with Matt LaFleur since the very beginning when he got here in 2019, that chemistry, I think, is going to go a long way and really be what allows Josh Jacobs to get back to that 2022 form, still only 26 years old, and has been, and like Xavier McKinney on the defensive side of the ball, has meshed really well with this locker room in his short time here. So I think as far as the changeover, it's going to be different. Certainly A.J. Dillon will still be involved. Marshawn Lloyd is a guy they drafted in the 3rd round to also pick up some of the slack, but They signed Josh Jacobs for a reason, and the Packers plan to utilize him.
Well, that's great stuff, man. Awesome catching up with you. I can't wait till Jordan Love signs his next deal.
Sounds good, guys. I appreciate you.
See you later, man. There you go. That's Wes Hodkiewicz, who senior writer for Green Bay Packers, Packers.com. And you know what's interesting? This is
no receiving touchdown for Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I mean, he never really got used in that role.
But an interesting,
it's crazy to think.
If they can kind of.
Josh Jacobs has a real nice fantasy value right now.
That step in his career.
I've been doing a ton of drafts. You're getting Josh Jacobs in like mid to late third, sometimes early fourth round. And I love that pick right there. But they've got that young receiving group. Christian Watson was taken in 2022. Romeo Doubs was selected in 2022. Jaden Reed was selected in 2023. Dontavian Wicks selected in 2023. That was one of the things we talked about for a long time with Aaron Rodgers. They never like used any super high picks on receivers. I was like, oh man, Randall Cobb's available again? Better get him back in here.
Yeah, kind of the complete opposite way of handling him. And
so now you've got Jordan Love coming in, who's only 4 years removed from his draft year being a first-round pick. And he's got, I think, 4 pretty good receiving options of guys who are also in that similar age. And then, as mentioned by Wes, Josh Jacobs is only 26. And they used a third-round pick this year on Marshawn Lloyd as another running back. So, as a Lions fan, I'm somewhat concerned by the Packers' offense.
Yeah, and as Wes mentioned about the defense as well, more aggressive and going back to a traditional 4-3. You bring in the safety there. Like, the Pack are back. And this is what they do. This is how they go, right? Favre, Rodgers, Love, and now
the Pack are back.
And with these weapons growing with him, I mean that'd be very encouraging. You talk about futures and looking forward to something. Great future there in Green Bay.
All right, we've got lots to get to as we continue to work our way through the show. If you're watching over on YouTube today, can we change 200 before 8 o'clock? In case you missed it, Reed Wilkins.
For Reed.
For Reed.
Do it for Reed.
For Reed. Reed's going to join us at 8:30 today. He's the newest member of our team. He's going to fit in extremely well. If you missed the announcements on Friday at the Nasty Bash, Reed Wilkins coming on as the host of the Reed Wilkins Show every single afternoon starting in September from 3 until 6. His co-host will be a guy that you've gotten familiar with, Glue Guy, Jay Milne. Will be riding shotgun with him. Jay's also been brought on as our director of sales and marketing, and he's an absolute sales wizard. So he's been big for us already. He will be continue moving forward. And then we also announced on Friday that Jasmine is going to be joining us, preferably, hopefully at least twice a week on the Hangout every single week, which is going to be absolutely tremendous. So Jasmine, I know some people are like, does Jasmine have any broadcast experience? Because she sure seems like she does. Now, she's just smooth. She's smooth.
That's the compliment right there.
She knows all things about sports. She'll put Tommy and Maddie in the hot seat. Like, she won't be afraid. She's going to be a great addition to what we're building over here at Edmonton Sports Talk as well. So
the living embodiment of the Jason and LeDuc song.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, don't have to go to broadcast school, right? Get a couple of cracks. It's a whole M&M thing, right? Mom's spaghetti. Like, get a few shots on the Hangout. Absolutely crush it. Be a longtime AM Nasty. And she's going to fit in extremely well around here. So Friday, Reed Wilkins, Jay Milne, Jasmine, all added to the Edmonton Sports Talk team. We still have what I believe to be now a coveted spot from 1 to 3 every single day right here as well, because you're going to be coming out of Oil Stream or 2 guys and a goalie, and you're going to be leading into the Reed Wilkins Show. We had a lot of people apply. We're chatting with a few folks about that 1 to 3 slot as well, and hopefully we can land somebody that you all love and will fit in very well with the team that we're building over here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Let's get into that's good right now for Italian Center Shop. You want to go grab those? You want to go grab those donuts? They're just sitting over by the printer. The bottom one is the full dozen. The other dozen got a little bit of a. It took a hit from the Nielson family yesterday. Like, I can't roll home with 2 dozen Italian Center Shop donuts and be like, don't touch these, especially when I had one in the truck on the way home. So, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Is that the full one? Oh, let's open that up. Let's show the people. Let's look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Are you kidding me? Woo. Look at these. YouTube, Trev. First overall pick, buddy. Come on up here, man.
Give a smile. Let's see. Good one.
Come on, Trev.
Candy lineup here, hey?
I see the lock shop special in there. The ones with sprinkles.
Oh, jeez.
I've been waiting all weekend to do that lock shop joke.
Doesn't hit at home, with the kids.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. You son of a bee. I like this one. That's a real nice one right there. Look at this one. It's got Oreos crushed on top of it. Real nice. Make sure you throw up the Italian Center Shop graphic, Trev. Do your job. God, sitting here, drooling over donuts, Unbelievable. Italian Center Shop. Look, I mean, what more do we need to say than go in there and get donuts for your staff? Go in there and get a dozen donuts for yourself and let us know how long. You want to rock, paper, scissors for second pick?
You go ahead.
You have it.
No, go
You
ahead.
have- no, you have
Please. I
second pick.
insist.
You
I
have
don't.
second pick.
Because I know where I'm going, and I know you won't go there at all.
Interesting. Now you challenge me.
Try your best. You're not going to get it. They're all filled though. Hey, only one holy
There's
donut.
one
here.
holy
They're
donut.
all free.
And it's a little
And
sugary.
I'm taking it.
Whoa!
You weren't going to take that one.
No, I thought that's the one you were going to take because I know you don't mind the old fashioned.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a little bit old fashioned.
After the weekend, it was. I kind of don't need the.
Yeah, now I get
the
the
filled
choice.
donut this morning.
So what do you think's inside this one with pretzels on top?
Give it a poke.
Should I just?
Well, I don't know.
I'm going to poke my finger into all of them. Whoa! Does this one have Smarties on the top?
I think that's crushed up M&Ms.
that
or
M&Ms?
Smarties, yeah, one of the two. That'd be a strong pick.
I'm so torn here, but I've never had a donut with M&Ms on
Yeah,
top.
that's good.
And since I am a big Eminem fan, his new album's terrific.
Mom Spaghetti. I wonder what's inside.
I don't know.
Split her open.
This is going to be. I got to slide over top of the box.
Old-fashioned plain.
Oh my
Cake
God!
donut. Let's take a peek inside.
It looks like just like custard.
Oh, it's like custard cream, yeah. That's a good traditional.
Oh.
Very
I'm
good.
happy. I know everybody's like, chewing on radio is not good. Luckily, we're not on radio. We're streaming on TuneIn and iHeart at EvanstonSportsTalk.com and YouTube.
They eat food all the time on YouTube, right?
This is delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, there.
Oh, that's nice.
The perfect balance.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, man. Italian Center Shop. Yeah, like, we've done the donuts before. I emailed Ryan over there. And I said, hey, man. I said, what do you want us to plug for the next couple of weeks? He goes, let's go back to the donuts.
Okay.
Man, you can't go wrong.
And the donut's one slice of that bakery. I've been professing the cream horns, the individual slices of cake, the what do you call it, the tiramisu, all that type of stuff, like the bakery rack there. That I'm talking about the window there.
I know. Of
It
course, I know
is
what you're talking about.
you can get hypnotized staring at that casing. But the donuts, the cream horns, the whole bit, very sweet. It's sweet being at the Italian Center Shop.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
The Italian Center Shop, a sweet place to be. These are so good. You know,
They're fresh.
Do you
Nice
think
and
Reed
fresh.
Wilkins ever got a free donut like this at Ched? No chance.
What do you think Reed's taking?
That's a fun game.
Get in the mind of Reed Wilkins here. Sprinkles?
You think he's going sprinkles? I don't know. I don't know if I see Reed as a sprinkles
Sprinkles.
guy. But there's two sprinkles there, so
Yeah.
it could be messing with
Sprinkles.
him.
What's that? Is that bacon bits on top of there? What's going on there?
I don't know what
That's
that one
a-
is.
Yeah, that's got to be something.
They're all delicious though. What's this one? This one looks like it kind of flattened out. Oh, that's got strawberry jam in it.
It's a
See,
jammer.
there's jam leaking out the side.
I'm gonna
of
cut
that
them
one.
all off, one little slice. I want to just sample each
That's
and
what
every
Zactic
one.
will
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
You know, Zactic is going to do that.
Hide the donuts.
All right, well, let's get into that's good right now for the Italian Center Shop. And either locations are just as delicious as the other ones. You gotta go check them out. We all live West End, so we hit that West End one all the time, and it was no surprise, but it was busy. Trev, you gotta stop moaning while you eat this donut.
Yeah, I'm getting excited here.
Trev's just over there.
Is it getting picked up?
Well, no, but I'm hearing it.
Oh,
it's not coming off for the mic, but I hear you over there in the corner be like,
Sorry.
like you're
I don't even realize I do it sometimes. I'm not even joking.
really.
Yeah, like my parents will always. That's like my
They
thing.
say, Trev, you're moaning while
You
you're
just
eating
moan.
again.
You're moaning
Well, when I
again.
was back home this weekend, my aunt and uncle were like, you still moan when you eat. It's like a thing. I don't know. It's weird. Sometimes, yeah. This was like I'm kind of. I know I'm doing it this time, but like
Yeah.
if we're ever out, you just pay attention to it because I'll just whenever I eat.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll stop.
No,
That's good.
okay, buddy. That's good.
Yeah.
Italian Center Shop, so good you'll moan, just like YouTube, Trev. That could be. We like coming up with slogans for our partners.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe some of them stick. I think that sweet place to be one really works better than so good you'll moan.
Well,
A sweet place to be really works. Italian Center Shop, feel free to use it. A couple of things I want to get to for that's good. One, the Edmonton Riverhawks, for the second year in a
Hey.
row, have set the new West Coast League single season attendance record, welcoming an incredible 116,871 fans, smashing the previous record by about 12,000.
just like that.
Congratulations.
Just like that.
Congratulations to the monster that the Edmonton Riverhawks have become in the West Coast League. So much of a monster that other leagues are like, We want you. We want a piece of you.
Well, to add on to that, they take 2 of 3 from Wenatchee over the weekend, which was huge because that is the team tops of the division right now. And if you'll bear with me,
What do we got
here,
for standings right now?
I see overall Edmonton Riverhawks 27-18. They're 2 games back now of the top, 5-5 in their last 10, behind Bellingham and Wenatchee. So they'll go for 9. It begins tomorrow in Victoria against Man Rams boys, old Manny Ramirez Jr.
not those guys
and
again.
Lucas Ramirez. Yeah, so we'll see what they do in this 9-game trip. Obviously, players going back to college as well. They're kind of losing a couple, but we wish them all the 9-gamer and hopefully some playoff ball into August here, at least, if not here on the road for the club.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
Love to see a little bit more. Stingers in action tonight. That's a game we'll have right here at Edmonton Sports Talk, and looking forward to getting out and checking out that game myself. Should be a pretty good time. Here's the other thing that's good from the weekend. It is, I can't say enough what it means to me, and I think all of us, that Reed left Ched to come join us. This is not a guy who was let go. This is not a guy who was looking for work. This is a guy who decided that for his situation, it was better to come over here and start a show from 3 to 6 that continued to be an amazing pre- and post-game host and a host of a show that had like legacy status in this market. And Reed decided that he wanted to be here with us. He sees what we're doing. We're going to have him on here at 8:30 today, but he sees what we're doing. He's got a lot of fun content ideas. We're going to drop a video. Trev, you'll be able to have the interview ready by tomorrow? Yeah, we're going to drop that tomorrow morning on the show, like a little pre-scripted video we put together. We think you're going to enjoy it.
You still can't talk about it with a straight face.
I smile every
You're
time I
laughing
do.
the whole time.
We had so much fun shooting that thing. It was great. So we'll drop the interview tomorrow morning on our show and then put it out on social media to follow as well. But when we started this, you, me, Maddie, Tommy, the 4 of us, we had lost our jobs. So, we
kind of Costanzing it near the end, knowing, and you're kind of in the basement being like, I ain't leaving.
Yeah, we had some options. There were options for us, but we thought this was the best one considering it was 2023, now 2024 at the time.
Yeah.
Zacticum was a practicum student. YouTube Trev was looking to get into this business. Reed's the first one. Well, Glue Guy a little bit as well because he owned a furniture business and ended up selling it. He wants to join us. But Reed was the first one that left a current job in the media to come join us. So that will forever mean a lot to me and what we're building over here. And honestly, I think, I'm going to say this now because he's coming to join our team, but in the overall scheme of things, I think it's a smart move for him as well, knowing what we're seeing in the media nowadays. So,
and I think a great fit as well. I don't know the guy personally too much as well as I would have liked by now, of course, working at 2 different places.
He's going to fit in here.
But he is just, he's got it. He's checking the boxes and just his style, his demeanor. You mentioned the dry humor and wit just in the meeting last week. I mean, I guess the tarps are off now. We know who TBA and TBD was in the meeting.
He was good.
But it was great in the meeting. So, I look forward to getting to know him better. And again, just the fit. It's not a forced thing. You go out, you identify maybe a free agent. Oh, we're bringing him on the team. But maybe it's this is just a nice, easy fit. And you mentioned on his own accord, just adds to it all. So I welcome him. We all welcome him. And I look forward to getting to know the guy better, both on the air and especially off the air, I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think Reed is going to open our eyes to a lot of I can't believe Reed Wilkins was like this. But, man, what a trooper because we're like, hey, here's how we think we want to reveal it. And we want to put you in the Smash suit and then bring you out of the Nasty Bash, parade you around a Smash for 10 minutes, and then be like, oh, no, where's the host? And then Scooby-Doo style, you lift up the mask, and it's Reed Wilkins. And he's like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I was just like, perfect.
First and last time I think he'll ever wear a Mascot costume, he said.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we were required of him again, especially when Zacticum loves it.
Well, that's
So, but Smash, Reed was dressed as Smash for the reveal of the Reed Wilkins show on Friday night, the Nasty Bash.
Him roaming around there, though, prior to the reveal was a nice take me back to those minutes where nobody really knew what was. Wait a minute, Zach's standing over there. People were adding it up.
The weird thing is that, I love the one guy right before the video goes, hey, Reed is in Smash. Like he hadn't caught on to it.
It just clicks, eh?
But I will say this. You know how you don't want to do the job too well because somebody will want you to do it again? Reed a smash. It's like he'd been waiting to get in a mascot costume his whole life. Like he was walking around.
I felt the vibe, yeah.
He's like bowing down to people. He killed it. he was way better a smash than Zactigum has ever been.
And no fan. There was no fan.
No, he was sweaty. He was a sweaty boy.
He was a sweaty boy.
He was a sweaty boy. When we took it off and I rubbed his head, it was covered in sweat. But that's EST sweat.
Yeah, baby.
So I went like this. I rubbed his head like this, and I went, yeah. Oh, he's one of us. He's one of us. He's going to have a real good show. I mean, if you listen to his other show, I meant it when I said, we talked about it a little bit. I was texting with him for a while, and I was like, he's a throwback. Like, Reed does sports talk the way sports talk was supposed to be done.
Amen.
You know, we've changed that game a little bit with our show and some of the other stuff we do here, but Reed still does it the way it's supposed to be done. I think that's a real nice fit with what we already have here. Then we throw that in for your easy listening on the drive home. I got a fiery glue guy riding shotgun. It should be a really good show. So Reed Wilkins will be in today at 8:30. He'll pop on the show with us, and he stick around the hangout with Maddie and
fired up Merman.
The Merman's coming in red hot. Well, the Merman. I think the Merman's opinion on the Elks really matters because he's a proud sponsor of the Elks and a longtime fan. Yep. So very interested to see what Murray McCord has to say there today as well. And if you would like to partner with us on the Reed Wilkins show in the afternoons, if you have a company and you want to get some more affordable advertising than the current mainstream options out there, we got you. And we're launching a brand new show that's already selling, even though it doesn't start until September. So it's trending in the right direction. That's for sure. Business at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. That's business at EdmontonSportsTalk.com if you'd like somebody to reach out to you.
Big Uke says, unreal reveal.
It was a good reveal. Nailed it.
For real, unreal reveal.
Unreal reveal.
So many remixes to that tune. I love it.
All right, we need somebody to play kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever. Casualest place ever at Mr. Mike's. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. If you want to play kind of easy trivia today, just text YouTube. Trev, you done that donut, Trev? Was that not good? It was real nice. That's real nice. At Italian Center Shop. Text Trev right now, 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. If you'd like to play kind of easy trivia today, we've got that gift certificate sitting there for Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. We're 21 likes away from changing 200 in the first 2 hours of the show. So hammer the thumbs up, especially if you're excited for Reed Wilkins to be a part of what we're building here at EST. 780-218-9999 if you want to play kind of easy trivia this morning. We got 3 questions too many coming up for the great staff over at Park Mazda. Reed Wilkins is going to join us just after 8:30 today on the Nielson Show. That is presented to you by South Fork Chevrolet. They too recently becoming a member of the Edmonton Sports Talk family, closer than you think since 1983. Go out and see Daniel and his team at South Fork Chev. Tell them we sent you, and they'll give you an extra 15% off accessories for your new ride. Employee pricing, I should say, is available until the end of the month. Just a couple of days here to get advantage of this. $18,000 off select models with their employee pricing event right now at South Fort Chevrolet. You want to save $18,000? Who doesn't? Go see our partners out at South Fort Chev. Check out their website, www.southfortchev.com. Sports update with Lieutenant Eric for Claiborne Services. If you are looking for work, look no further. Start a new career with Claiborne Services. Rick's got more on that after an update.
Week 8 in the CFL wrapping up last night. It was the Elks falling to 0-7 with a 44-28 home loss to the Tiger Cats. Trey Ford, 10 of 15 with 3 touchdowns in fourth quarter relief of McLeod Bethel Thompson. The Elks back in action Saturday at 5 when they visit the 5-2 Rough Riders. The second place Edmonton Stingers wrap up the CEBL regular season at home to Winnipeg tonight. It's a game we'll have for you live on Edmonton Sports Talk. Our coverage starts at 7 o'clock. Riverhawks doubling up Wenatchee 4-2 yesterday afternoon down at Remax as Edmonton take 2 of 3 from the weekend set. Riverhawks will cap the regular season with a 9-game road trip. That begins tomorrow night in Victoria. Prospects, meanwhile, winning a thriller on the road 16-11 over the Bombers down in Brooks. Prospects will host the Bombers tomorrow from Sherwood Park. Jays completing the weekend sweep of the Rangers yesterday 7-3. Jays are in Baltimore for a 4-game set beginning later today with a doubleheader. First pitch, 1:05. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind knowing they are an industry leader in safety. For more, check out www.claiborneservices.com or make it easy. Call Jeff, 780-910-6728.
Daddy. Daddy. Okay, here we go. Daddy. 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 Okay. Okay, here we go.
Turn down for what? Daddy likes. Turn down for what? Daddy likes. Turn down for what?
Okay, here we go. Daddy. Daddy. Okay.
Daddy likes.
I don't give a damn. Daddy likes. Daddy. Daddy.
Draisaitl, the Duck Hunter.
Daddy likes.
Draisaitl, the Duck Hunter. Daddy likes. Good daddy likes chants at the Nasty Bash on Friday. Love when a good, spontaneous daddy likes chant pops up. Real nice.
Daddy.
Brie Lando to the Paris Jewelers inbox. ParisJewelers.com. That's a website. You love somebody? Buy him something. ParisJewelers.com.
Breland was out at the
Breland was there.
Yeah,
He's had a good time. Yeah. He goes, how about Reed's parents? Just the nicest people. I'm glad they were able to leave, though, before Normology started to strip.
Yeah, probably the right time for them to kind of...
I was surprised that his parents, they left. When did they leave? 10?
Yeah.
Reed's parents toughed it out. And they just kept sitting there, and people just kept coming by to have conversations with him. It was great. Real good time. They're super proud of their boy, and I love the fact that his parents are there to help launch this thing. That's the type of people that we want to work with, and want to continue to put together a list of good people. And I think we've done that with Reed and Jay and Jasmine in the last little while. We're hoping to continue to do that with something from 1 to 3 as well. So in September, there'll be no reason to go anywhere else. And we think you've been wanting that, and we're happy to give it to you. Nielsen Show presented to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Check them out, southfortchev.com. All right, who's playing kind of easy trivia today, buddy? Who do we got, YouTube, Trev?
Today, Big Uke will be giving it a go.
Uke.
Is he topless
I
again?
wonder if he's put his shirt back on just yet. Hey, let's bring in Big Uke today. Big Uke, how was Saturday for you?
It was a little sketchy in the morning, not going to lie. And then, Harry the dog did out of the lake and tied another one on.
Oh, yeah. You don't got to worry about it at the lake. Yeah, that's all right. All right, man. Well, good time on Friday night. Hey, man, I can't wait for Nasty Bash 3.
It was enjoyable.
That's a good way to describe it. All right, let's get to Kind of Easy Trivia today. Brought to you by our partners over at Mr. Mike's, the casualest place ever in the Hampton Inn, the corner of 137th Ave and Mark Messier Trail. They got the 6 o'clocker lager in the house at Mr. Mike's, and, of course, the classic Mike Burger, which is my absolute favorite. I'll start the ticker after read the first question. You, good luck, man. Here we go. Did the Edmonton Elks win yesterday?
Absolutely not.
Which Elks quarterback threw 3 TD passes in the fourth quarter?
Trey Ford.
Who is the quarterback of the Ticats?
That old bum from Calgary.
What position does James Butler play?
That I am not 100%.
Which former 630 Chet host is now joining EST?
E. Wilkins!
Get to me. There you go.
No! Oh, my God. Damn it, Shake, stop it!
They are going to remember that AM radio is a viable and modern source for news and entertainment. Totally. People don't listen to AM like they used to. Seems like it's more about FM and color TV. That's stupid. It sure is, Kevin.
I'm stoked. You stoked?
I'm stoked.
Just
I'm
so stoked.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Big Uke off to Mr. Mike's. And I had to come up with a question on the fly there. By the
What
seat
is
of
your
my
name?
pants. Well, here's what happened was I've got the third question was who's the quarterback of the Ticats?
You got that right.
Yeah. But then the next question was supposed to be what position does Bo Levi Mitchell play?
Oh,
That would have backfired. So then I threw in a James Butler, who's a man. Butler's a good running
Butler.
back.
Oh, hell yeah.
Man, James Butler
2 yards shy of 100, I think.
is it? Yeah, and he had like 18, 19 carries.
He can catch.
And he
can-
got their offense going through the air earlier too.
Yeah.
Who has him in the Dunya?
Not I.
I
Iwonic?
screwed up. I took
No.
Stanback like 2 picks ahead of Butler.
I think my brother might have him.
I should have gone Butler.
Where are those Dunya numbers?
You two driving the quarter. Stanback, the nemesis.
Stand back.
Ah, man, I wonder if I got that kicking around. We could use that today, couldn't we? What do we call that again? Who was that? What was that guy's name? Oh, Doug Roach.
Roach.
Here it is. I got Doug Roach. Steinbach, the nemesis. They got him.
Joey Bielik Cassidy turns back. Looks like they're doing a little reverse that you might see in football.
You know what? Just quickly, I want to get a Joey B. LaCassidy jersey.
Can you mention
it just
the card?
says Joey B. and LaCassidy, the whole name on there.
Joey Bielik Cassidy turns back. Looks like they're doing a little reverse that you might see in football. And here comes Bazin. He's got some speed. Split the D. Oh, what's he going to do? He's shooting the roof, Daddy. Oh, look at that. Look at this, look at that. And there's the speed, the old banana splitty Rudy. And, Vernon is rejoice as their nemesis, Steinbach. They get him in the overtime. Roof Daddy. As Bazin kept chugging as his speed helped split the D.
I mean,
What an all-time clip, man.
That's aged like fine wine.
It's
that's
still hilarious.
Just as good. Oh,
I think it's even better.
yeah.
Like we haven't listened to it in a while. It's
been a
even
while.
better. Doug Roach, you legend. My God. Too good. Man, we got to listen to the whole thing again. I'm sorry. Like there's like 10 things he knocked
too
out of
much
the
to
park.
pick,
There's
yeah,
too
yeah.
much.
Joey Bielik Cassidy turns back. Looks like they're doing a little reverse that you might see in football. And here comes Bazin. He's got some speed. Split the D. Oh, what's he going to do? He's shooting the roof, Daddy. Oh, look at that. Look at this, look at that. And there's the speed, the old banana splitty Rudy. And, Vernon is rejoice as their nemesis, Steinbach. They get him in the overtime. Roof Daddy. As Bazin kept chugging as his speed helped split the D.
Speed out, split the D. The nemesis. You got him. All right. Let's refocus. You know what we got to do? We got to get Reed a key. He's got.
Do you want me to unlock the door?
Well, we know Reed's just chilling outside right now.
Yeah.
I know Reed will be a guy who will roll into work early.
Well, maybe he introduces himself to the building downstairs first before he makes his way upstairs,
Probably.
right?
Yeah,
Victor and the boys, he's
Bizarro Tom Gazzola. Tommy was like the 40th person to the Nasty Bash. Our whole staff was like, "Okay, well, let's roll in, around 5:30." Tommy rolls in like 6:15.
Yeah. Shaking hands, straight to the bar.
Straight to
gets
the bar.
girl. Half hour later, they're leaving.
Good, yeah.
Just another business night.
Yeah. What a guy. What a guy. All right, let's get into 3 questions too many today for the great staff at Park Mazda. Lieutenant Eric, do you have a liner for the segments?
I do. It's 3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where if you want to buy a car and watch the Olympics at the same time, visit Park Mazda today. Your dealer for life, parkmazda.ca.
How much Olympics did you consume over the weekend?
None. Well, no, because it's for me, it's putting it on when there's nothing going on. You have it on in the background. You're doing other things. Oh, this happened. I mentioned the skateboarding thing. I didn't sit down and watch it. I just said, we're going to go here now, and here's a 14-year-old getting a medal. I do believe a Saskatchewanite won a diving bronze this morning.
Excellent.
I just followed Devin Haru on Twitter. He's got it all.
Yeah.
But there's so much going on
that
all
is
the time.
probably like the best source.
It is the best because he's boots on the ground there. He's kind of got it all. But there's action fast and furious all the time. I watched, what did I have on there? The fencing. We had the fencing.
Yeah.
That was going on. I mentioned
the visual
skateboarding.
of the fencing looks terrific.
Visual fencing, the pool. There's that one Canadian swimmer, and she didn't know that she went, and she didn't have her glasses on. She had to look. She had to squint at the board to see if she went or not. Very cute moment. But no, I have it on. I'm not. Is he in?
He is in. He is
He got a key.
So does he have a key?
I don't
That's
know.
the question.
He must have a key.
On Iwonic, he might have
No, I bet you maybe they were just downstairs already there. Do you have a key already, Reed? No, it's unlocked. Oh, it's unlocked. So that must be the people downstairs. All right, there we go. I sat down and watched the entire American basketball game. LeBron was playing. I have to tell my kids to not refer to the United States as we. Liz is like, are we winning? I said, well, yes, LeBron is winning, and he's playing very well. He's almost going to have a triple-double in 27 minutes.
Whole family, red, white, and blue, hey? Decked out?
No, that's not the case. But, I mean, it is ridiculous that at 39 years old, he's the best player on the U.S. Olympic team.
He is your flag bearer. Your flag bearer.
I mean, what can you say? Even I wasn't expecting to be the best player on the U.S. Olympic team.
Somebody on Twitter.
But here we are.
That Reed Wilkins show logo on the flag that LeBron.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was really good.
That was really good.
Whoever did that on Twitter.
Who did that?
Work of art. I'll try to find it here.
I think I retweeted it.
Yeah.
It was really funny. LeBron at the front of that boat holding up the flag, but it was the Reed Wilkins show logo. Perfect. That was really funny. Really funny. Do you have a Twitter account?
Yeah, here it is. Derek Reed.
Derek Reed. Crack
at 50N39. Yeah, real good. Yeah, Twitter account at Lieutenant_Eric. You can find that retweet and a bunch of others from the weekend. Rob Crosby as well. He got a picture with Smash Mesh. You, me, and Fraze had a good one in front of the old backdrop there.
Yeah, it was awesome seeing Fraze. That was a real nice
sweet.
Photo.
Yeah, so much stuff. So just follow us today and at Lieutenant_Eric and the video as well from the Big Pop, which was very nice. And thank you to Fergie's Prostate and everybody out. The staff were great. They're all donned in their EST shirts. Great service all throughout the night. Yeah. Treated like royalty there, so.
Wheels over in the Nasty Chat says, how in the world did MBT win the Grey Cup with the Argos? Well, in a real plot twist, they actually pulled him in the Grey Cup, and Chad Kelly came in and won it.
Yes.
Got them to the Grey Cup against Winnipeg.
Got
and then
it
was Chad Kelly who came in and sealed it away. Yep. So
still a Rough Riders legend for that one.
For
denying the Bombers the Grey Cup in Regina. I mean, what can you say?
Yeah, that's a big one. All right, let's get into three questions. Did you give your Twitter account?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. YouTube Trev, what about you, buddy? What's your Twitter account? Let's bump those followers up.
I actually got this figured out over the weekend. Finally. Okay. Well,
what do you mean you just got this figured out?
I'm new to Twitter, right? So when I started here is the first time I got Twitter. And for the longest time, if you tried looking me up, you look up YouTube Trev, you couldn't find me. That's because my username was actually not YouTube Trev, even though it said at YouTube Trev. So I finally switched it. I don't know, because sometimes it would pop up.
YouTube_Trev.
Yeah. But it's when I go to edit profile, it says name YouTube_Trev. That before was just Trevor Graham Party. But yeah, I guess I don't know. So I was telling people all this time that the wrong info. That's why you couldn't find me. But now I've got it all sorted out.
So now you are YouTube_Trev.
Now I am YouTube_Trev, and you can look it up, and there I am.
Well, congratulations on finally figuring out
only
YouTube
took 8
or
months.
Twitter. Yeah, man. That's pretty weak. God love you, man, but that's pretty pathetic.
Proudest moment, but whatever.
All right, you can text us in the Parachuters inbox, 780-218-9999. We are going to get into 3 questions too many. Here we go. Question number 1. Guys, what do you think the odds are that Jarius Jackson starts MBT on Saturday?
Well, today's Monday. They play Saturday. Things can transpire through a week of practice. No, I mean, who are we kidding? What are the there's no odds. Like what?
But a percentage chance.
What's there's no 0.
I mean, it should be 0.000.
Point. Yeah.
But I still think there's like a 20% chance they roll back MBT. Because they put him out at halftime when it was obvious to go to Trey Ford then.
But after what he did in the 4th now, you can't go back now from this. This is what more do we have to see, or what more does we have to do? What more does this team not have to do, I guess, to
You know, we had Dave Naylor on. And I didn't like the one thing that Naylor said. It's not nothing that Naylor said bad, but he was pointing out a fact. And he said, MBT's not an easy guy to bench. And I have to tell you, I do not care if you're an easy guy to bench or not. You can't just give in to, oh, man, McLeod Bethel-Thompson will be angry if we bench him. We better start him against the Riders, even though he's 0-7. Like, you can't do that. I don't care about his attitude. I don't care about if he's going to be, pouty.
I don't care about the money. I don't care about anything.
He's 0-7. You cannot be afraid to bench MBT at least for the next game, if not moving forward. So I thought that was interesting when Naylor said, I think I was doing that game when Toronto was getting pumped, absolutely pumped by the Lions in 2022. And they pulled MBT, put in Chad Kelly, and McLeod Bethel-Thompson was down by like 35 or 40 points, and he was freaking out on the sidelines. And it's not good composure. I get it. You're competitive and everything. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But come on.
You're playing on a team. Frankie Hickson, I think, post-game in Montreal said the complete opposite. I mean, he's spelling in for A.J. Ouellette, obviously due to injury. He goes, I don't care if I'm starting or whatever. I'm here to help the team. That's kind of football. Obviously, in a quarterback position, it's a little more, the onus is on you a bit more. But, yeah, to be so visibly...
I don't think...
because it's being a competitor is fine. Everybody wants to play. You don't hate... But to illustrate it so, matter-of-factly on the sideline, I don't think anybody has any time for that.
I'll be very interested to see what he says this week. They're going to have to make him available. So
yeah, I don't know. It's a bad look when you're 0-7. I mean, there's not much defensible, and that's to the original question. Why? What's the percentage? Why don't they? I mean,
it's not a 0%. I don't
paint
think
me
it's
a picture
0%.
and give me. I know, but
in fact, it's
now,
sad,
what?
but it might be higher than 20.
Get out of here.
It might be. Derek Knight over on the Nasty Chat says Ford is unbelievable as an improvisational QB.
Yeah. Look at this one from Tim Hitchcock. LTE, let them start MBT next week. Go Riders. So that I think illustrates how when your opponent is actively cheering for a certain guy, I think you know where that lies there. But again, what more do you need to do in that fourth quarter?
It should be a 0% chance, but I don't think it's a 0% chance.
I hear what you're saying, given everything we've seen.
Question number 2. Guys, any chance the next owner of the Elks is already asking for his money back?
No.
No, I still.
Why wouldn't you?
We said earlier it's a great buy low spot.
Walking into that tailgate as I have for the past 2 Sundays with the sun shining down and the smiles on everybody's faces with an 0-6, 0-5, 0-7 team. If I was coming into that spot, I'd be rubbing my hands with glee, knowing what I have to work with here. Nice stadium, solid fan base, great history. Lots of good stuff to build off of. You got to get it right on the field. I understand that's the work, but why would you? The BC examples, the Montreal example is go down the track. Somebody's got to lose in a 9-team league, obviously. But no, I think seeing what you got to work with here as a prospective buyer, owner, whatever you want to call it, I'd be quite excited. I'd be rubbing my hands.
I mean, you're going to be a hero.
Well, and how bad can it get? What I'm saying?
It can't be worse.
Already gone down as much as it can, so...
Actually, can it get worse? There's no way. How do you get worse than this?
Now we're going to the Trey Ford probability of... there's always a way, but really.
I don't think it can get worse than this. Yeah. So, no, I don't think they're asking for their money back. I think they're probably excited to get their hands on this thing and start to mold it to what they want it to be.
Because it's there.
Question number 3. Had a couple here. I had one about the Estes. We'll save that. August is going to be a huge
Estes. This is exciting
month.
now, hey?
I want to tell
turns.
He goes, SD categories. We got like 20, 25.
He's getting a little mad, actually.
Oh, yeah. You guys aren't taking the SD seriously. What are you talking about? We got a whole file in a notepad here.
I'll be wearing a clip-on bow tie for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Much more serious can you get?
My parents are coming up from Cranbrook, and my mom got my dad a new suit.
Well,
yeah, they're not messing around.
When does he have to return it?
Estes are September 17th. Be ready for a one-of-a-kind Edmonton media event like you've never seen before. Sounds crazy, but I think that's actually a fair way to describe it. Anyway, question number 3 says, which player, this is a good question, which player do you guys think benefits the most if Trey Ford does, in fact, take over at quarterback?
The offensive line.
Well,
because
offensive line's a whole nother conversation.
No, I know, but having him, and I think we kind of touched on it prior, and I was talking to a few people post-game in the parking lot, too, last night, that if your line is what it is right now and the pass protection is waning and the run blocking isn't, you got a guy in the backfield now that can move around and keep defenses on the toes, so it's not such a static line and trying to do just one thing, move them around a bit. But I think I know the purpose of this question, and it goes to offensive studs and stars. I know what happens to Curly Gittins Jr. now. I know he's still part of the team, part of the fold, but that was the big deal, right? Him and MBT's relationship and chemistry. Geno Lewis, maybe? Get him clicking around.
I was gonna lean to. I was gonna
because he didn't really do it with him.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't really a.
I mean, it should open up the run game.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be the obvious one. I was very intrigued how they were using Javon Leake more than Kevin Brown yesterday, almost as if like Kevin Brown was the issue. Now, with that being said, Leake.
It's not a new thing either.
They've been mixing in Leake, but like going into the game yesterday, obviously I don't have my board here, but going into the game yesterday, I think Kevin Brown had 48 carries and Javon Leake had 14. And Leake ended up getting more of the work yesterday.
Yeah, 8 carries, 55 yards. Brown 6 for 20.
Yeah.
Leake busting off a 14-yard. He was averaging 6.9.
Yeah, that's
carries,
the thing. So I wonder if, is there a transition here? He's also involved in your return game. Now, they took him out of the return game for a good chunk of the second half because Dylan Mitchell was returning kicks. And I wasn't sure if it's just because they decided to shut Leake down. But then they worked him back out there in the offense. So we'll figure out exactly what the usage is on Javon Leake. After last season, they didn't need to bring in a running back. Kevin Brown had over 1,100 yards last year. They needed to bring in a return man. They brought him in. Now they're using him a little bit in the run game, which is one of the things that I think they told Leake when they brought him in that will give you more of an opportunity in the offense than you got last year with the Toronto Argos. So we'll see if that continues. So it should be the running game, but I also strongly believe that it'll be good for Geno Lewis. Mm-hmm. Like, how in the world? And McLeod Bethel-Thompson tried to target him once. It was the one that Moxie almost picked off. Got his hands on it. It was funny. Moxie got his hands on it, but couldn't haul it in. It bounced up in the air, and he started jumping and was angry, and it fell down right next to him. Like, if he just looked up, he would have picked that one off.
Plays never over.
That was a target towards Geno Lewis. I'm not sure how many other times MBT even looked in his general direction. It took until the final 3 minutes of the football game yesterday for Eugene Lewis. Eugene Lewis, your highest paid receiver, arguably the best player in your offense. You didn't get him the ball until there was 3 minutes left in the football game. So, actually, you know who might be another good answer here? Gavin Cobb.
Yes, I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
6 catches targeted, 2 catches, 6 targets, 40 yards in that major as well.
And I think at least 4 of them were from Ford because he hit him.
Yeah.
Then he went back to him, and Cobb went up, and it went through his hands.
Yeah.
Probably one he wants back.
And that's a Canadian connection. We had both the men on the hangout there last year.
Well, they're
as well.
buddies.
Yeah.
And then he had the touchdown.
That's something cooking right there in terms of
well, prior to that, coming into the game yesterday, Cobb had 1 catch on 2 targets.
Yeah.
So Gavin Cobb might actually be the best answer there.
Yeah.
And I know guys around the Elks
though, hey?
love Gavin Cobb.
Yeah.
They think I know he's not a big guy, but they think he's got what it takes to be a good receiver in this league. So we'll see how that sorts it out. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999 is where you can chime in. The Feast on the Field is happening. Let's get into this. Luke Gazdick's going to be rolling into town for this. I'm probably going to get him on. Tommy's away for the next couple of weeks, so I'm probably going to get Gazdick on the oil stream at some point this week. Probably get him on our show maybe next week as well. You're away for part of this week too, eh?
Yes.
That's nice. That'll be a nice getaway for a little bit. Hey, that'll be fun.
Yeah, going to see the in-laws.
That'll be a good time.
Yeah, vacation, hurrah. I jest.
I was going to say, I'm not saying anything here. Capital Care Foundation is hosting our Feast on the Field at the Charity Golf Classic with special guest MC Luke Gazdick. One lucky foursome will get to spend the day golfing at Red Tail Landing with Luke. Capital Care Foundation believes everyone deserves to live with dignity, and they do this by providing positive mental wellness and a home-like atmosphere. And they do that with funds from events like these, the Feast on the Field and the Charity Golf Classic. The date is August 14th and 15th. Feast on the Field is at Commonwealth Stadium. Charity Golf Classic, presented by Gilead, is at Red Tail Landing. www.capitalcarefoundation.net is where you can find more on that. www.capitalcarefoundation.net, and we'll catch up with Gazdick at some point this week here on Edmonton Sports Talk to discuss that event. All right, let's get to a sports update for Sit and Sleep. Now on board with Edmonton Sports Talk. They've got their grand opening over the weekend. Grand opening continues, right? You can go on. How long can you how long can you milk a grand opening? That's what I'm wondering.
Stretch that puppy out a bit.
3, 4, 5, 6 months?
At least till the hockey season.
At least till the hockey season, for sure. They should do it at least till the hockey season. Eric's got more on Sit and Sleep coming up here with a sports update. They are now open in South Edmonton Common. Reed Wilkins, newest member of the Edmonton Sports Talk team. How good does that sound, boys? He's going to join us in studio coming up here from 8:30 to 9. Then on the Hangout today with Murray McCord and Matthew Owanek as well. Sports update with Lieutenant Eric coming down the pipe at you right now.
The Elks fell to 0-7 as they lose at home to the Ticats 44-28 yesterday. Trey Ford 10 of 15 with 3 touchdowns in fourth quarter relief of McLeod Bethel Thompson as the Elks will get set to visit the 5-2 Rough Riders Saturday at 5. On the hard court, the Stingers will wrap up their CEBL regular season at home to Winnipeg tonight. It's a game we'll have for you on Edmonton Sports Talk. Coverage starts at 7. Riverhawks doubling up Wenatchee 4-2 yesterday.
My uncles were over on the side observing, talking amongst themselves, adult things. When he punched me in the mouth, I decided I'm running to my uncle. You know what he did? He pushed me back to him. I went back, he punched me in my mouth again. I ran to my uncle, looking for protection. Needed big bro to protect me. He pushed me back again. And you know what I did? I faced him in the eye. And I said, my uncle's not going to help me. So I punched him in the face. And then I looked him in the eye and I said, then what? Now what? Now what? Now what are you going to do? You're simply the best.
8:32 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here. Quick audio hiccup there, but hit it, Trev.
Changing 200.
Changing 200. And how about this? This is awesome. Let's fire up Reed. Reed Wilkins, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, Dustin. Thanks for having me. Eric, great
nice to see you, man. Nice to see you.
It's good to see you, man.
Trev, how are you? Good. This is early for me to be on the radio.
It is,
eh?
It's early, right?
We call it a station still.
We call online sports
still a station.
Yeah, it's still a station.
I'll probably call it whatever sometimes.
Doesn't matter. You can call it whatever you want. That's the best part.
First of all, thank you. And now that I'm hired, I have a list of demands and grievances.
Well, isn't this something? Holy heck.
Number one. Softer toilet paper in the washroom. Number 2. Lieutenant Eric, what's up with this guy?
Oh, wait. Number 2.
Oh, hang on. There's more. I got more. Okay. I ordered a scroll especially for this. That's the only time this scroll will ever be used. Well, I guess I'll
you
just
got
leave
to work it
now.
into the show
We'll
now.
have to work it in. We'll have to work it in.
For sure.
It was about $25 off Amazon, and it came with a. I didn't bring it because it would have got wrecked. It came with a quill pen.
Oh man.
But like not one that you dip ink in.
Like one of these?
That one's one's way nicer.
Yeah,
that one's way nicer.
This is our Tales of the North pen.
So, anyway, thank you for having me. Thanks for all the kind words on Friday and throughout the morning. Well, at least since about 7:30 when I got up.
You got up,
listening.
yeah.
Yes, I don't get up at 6. I'm sorry.
That's okay. The show's always podcast, so you can find it later
That's
on.
true.
If you
Good
want.
point. Back and listen
That's
to
a good point. Hey, what was your initial impression of what you're getting into on Friday night?
Man, Friday night was it was actually overwhelming in a positive way. I didn't expect it would actually be that boisterous.
Yeah.
Like I thought it would kind of be like, hey everybody, here's Jasmine, here's Jay, and here's Reed, and there'd be like a polite applause, and then everybody would just keep hanging out. Like there was more chanting. And it was a higher level of energy, again, in a good way. than I expected, and maybe I guess maybe I didn't have huge expectations. I suppose I just was going to do it. I was extremely nervous about the whole mascot.
You
costume.
killed the mascot thing.
Well, did I really? I
Yeah.
just walked around.
No, you were kind of
Your
shaking
vibe
and
and the
shaking a
actions
little
were
bit.
just real
You
good.
you look like a guy who'd been wanting to be in a mascot costume for a long time. But
Well, there was a certain level of curiosity about it, for sure. I mean, I'd never done it. You see people in those costumes, and you always wonder about their comfort level and why they're doing it and how long they've been doing it. I mean, there are people. Like, is that the Fanatic's job? Does the person inside the Philly Fanatic have another job? I don't know. If
I think they got to be a full-time.
The Phoenix Suns gorilla makes like $1 million or something. Yeah.
Right. Is it still the same acrobatic one they've always said? They must
Yeah,
have
yeah,
had a few
yeah.
gorillas,
Like
don't
the-
they? Okay.
Got to have an injury backup.
So,
there.
but I was very. The stuff that makes me nervous is, stuff where it's really out of the routine.
Yeah.
And you haven't done before. Because I was very much like, okay, how am I going to change into this thing? So luckily, Jay was there and Matt was there, because just stuff like I'm very clumsy. Like I'm not very good with like my
your fine motor skills.
Yes,
suck?
exactly. So I was like, okay, how am I where are the zippers going to be? So it was pretty easy to get into, and then actually once I was in it, it was fun. I mean, a couple people were like, "Hey, Reed," I was like, but you can't talk.
Yeah,
as,
you didn't break
as a
character,
as a mascot. But then, I mean, I could see okay.
Yeah.
It was sort of in my eye line, but the fabric inside was
Right on your nose.
right here. And so I was actually comfortable, and then about 10 minutes in, I was like, I can't breathe. So I had to go outside and take the mask off, just kind of like this with my head down so I could breathe. And I was like, hey, when are we doing it? When are we doing it? when are we doing it? And Jay was like, hey, pretty soon.
Yeah.
Pretty soon. So then when we actually did it, it was nice to get out of there.
Did you?
I meant that on Twitter. Hopefully
It was a
that's
relief,
the
not a
first and
reveal for
last
you. It
time.
was
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it was
saw Morley and Dave yesterday. Like, we cannot believe you got Reed to get into a chicken costume. I said, first of all, it's Smash Smash the Pelican,
Right.
and second of all, he seemed all gung ho for it. So that was nice. That was nice.
Yeah, if I would have been that uncomfortable, I would have brought up alternatives.
Yeah, there would have been other options
But
there.
it
worked
fun.
out. It worked out awesome. Your parents are great. I think everybody loved meeting them. What did they think of the whole thing?
They were pretty impressed too. I think like me, I don't think they expected it was going to be at that level.
Yeah.
I think well, it's not like I'm bragging, but I think they felt proud. Like
Well, they
I
should.
don't think
Yeah.
they.
Yeah, I could tell that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, certainly. I think when I first started telling them about this, I think especially from my mother's standpoint, there was a little uncertainty. Like, hey, I'm thinking of leaving Ched.
Yeah.
That's a big statement.
And you were there,
for
like,
sure.
how long? For
How many people
who
have
don't know,
actually
or-
said that, right?
Yeah, I was there 14 years.
Yeah, that's
and
a good
I
run.
did Oilers. I did the Oilers broadcast at Inside Sports for basically. Well, I did 11 hockey seasons.
Yeah.
I think my official anniversary on Inside Sports would be in the fall.
Okay.
But it's because Dan left around this time of year, and then Dave and I kind of both did it for a few months,
Yeah.
and then I started doing hockey, and it was kind of like, oh, we're looking for someone, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But yeah. So, but my parents, they were thrilled to be there. They loved meeting everybody. They said everybody was very nice. I mean, they knew Tom obviously.
Yeah.
From when he was around the Oilers and being my buddy. My mom will be a character on the show.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to continue. But I'm not exaggerating how much my mom hates certain players. Like
That's what you were telling me.
Yes,
Boy.
like it's for, like my dad is like I'm more like my dad when it comes to sports, especially as I've gotten older. I mean, I want my favorite teams and athletes to win. But I remember when the Oilers were really bad. I remember, and I did the last 3 years of the decade of darkness, and then of course they made the playoffs, and then were bad again for 2 more years. And I was like, how do you process all this? Like they're so bad, but like you never really say anything about it. My dad was like, well, he goes, I know a team can't be good every year, and I know if they're bad, I can't do anything about it. And I like watching sports. And even if the team is bad, there's players I like watching. I like watching games. So then I just appreciate the years that they're good. So yeah, that's a pretty good attitude. Like you have no control over it. But my mom was a little more like, why aren't they trying harder? Why don't they tackle that guy? Why didn't he shoot the puck into the net? Like,
She's got the questions.
Well, Mom, they're trying to do, and then players on other teams, like on Mother's Day a few years, I haven't done it every year, but I've put out a list of my mom's top 5 most hated athletes. And like I mean it. I think if my mom would have seen JT Miller downtown Edmonton, she would have assaulted him. like he's now on the list. I mean, she hates Austin Matthews with his stupid little mustache. She always says that. And she used to hate Hyman.
Yeah,
because during the season we played them 9 times.
Yeah, bubble.
Well, we can't get the puck away from him. I mean, she used to hate Corey Perry like most Oilers fans.
But she switched?
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. But JT Miller's been up there. Bo Levi's been up there. Patrick Reed is up there because she read.
Everybody hates Patrick Reed.
She read I think it's in Slaying the Tiger, the chapter where he stole money out of the guy's locker at university. And because Patrick Reed is mean to his parents, right? Because he banned his own parents from coming to tournaments. So
your mom
Patrick
hates him.
So when he won the Masters, that was not a good day for my mother. But anyway, they had a great time. And
it's funny when I was talking to them. She was talking about how they're learning to watch YouTube and be listening to on TuneIn and iHeart. And I think it was one of them, either your dad or your mom, was just like, we had a problem with the TV and we had to call Shaw Cable to come fix it.
But that was their cable was out. It wasn't anything to do with because they were watching Edmonton Sports Talk and then they tried to go back to cable.
Yeah, but the cable
and they got an error message.
Okay.
But their Wi-Fi was working, just something
Totally
going
separate,
to the cable box.
Okay.
They thought they hit a wrong button. But I think they know how to do it now. I mean, it is. I think it. Like it is a change in obviously how, like I'm not going to get huge into this, but we know that how things are being consumed has been changing for probably a couple decades now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know when you guys first had the internet in your actual residence. It was probably 96 or 97 for me.
Yeah, it was I think about 90. I mean, we moved off the farm in like 96. And we had the internet out there for about a year, I think. So, 95-ish.
Yeah, because I remember
96.
I had, when I was going to Nathan working at Blockbuster, I had an apartment on 78th Ave.
Okay.
Near the old keg.
Oh, yeah,
Off White, and I remember I got the internet.
It's huge.
You had to dial it in. I hope nobody phones me. Nobody phones me. And, but yeah, anyway, so, they're having now my mom's all over it and telling me what people are saying in the chat. I'm like, geez, she's watching and listening all day already. Like
she's gonna have to come up with a handle, eh? Like I don't know if Reed's mom will suffice.
Yeah, and 5 minutes of hate or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Mama
W.
The nasty chat loving Reed's mom.
But they were both thrilled to be there. So thank you for inviting
that was a lot
them
of
as
fun,
well.
Man. They were great.
Buff Puffin says I worked with Reed's dad for a while and he was an absolute beauty. Stoked Reed is with EST now. So
who said that?
The Buff Puffin. I don't know if your dad might know him by that or.
Probably doesn't know him as Buff Puffin.
My dad was a teacher, so I doubt the guy went by that in the school.
He taught his entire career. Teacher,
might be a few nasties then that he knows maybe.
Yeah. What did he teach?
Well, for most of his career, he was an administrator.
Okay.
So he didn't teach as much, but he taught social studies. Nice. Like he taught me social 20. That was the only time I ever had him as a teacher.
Oh, nice.
And I think he might have taught a junior high social. He might have taught social grade 8 because
I love social studies.
School was 7 to 12, and then he did. He's kind of started a drama program at Grand Trunk in Evansburg. So when he retired, they named the theater hall after him. So it's the J.R. Wilkins.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's kind of neat.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
You are right though about how people consume stuff nowadays. Because even back when we were still working at 1260 and at Bell, they would push about listening online and listening to the streaming, and you can utilize the streaming and stuff. So for you coming over here and joining us, you obviously understand what we're doing, and I would hope you're probably pretty excited about it. Right?
Well, I'm extremely excited. Yeah. I mean, this is. I just feel extremely lucky. Like I mean that. Like this is. I mean, I mentioned it on my other show. I turned 50 earlier this year. You know? So
happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Well,
that's a milestone. That's a big one.
Months ago, but
I'll say belated. That's a good one. That's a big year, man.
The classic 2 months later.
Big year.
But I'm pretty lucky at this point in my life and career to get this this jolt,
Yeah.
I guess to put it, and this change, and to be wanted, and not that I wasn't wanted at Chorus because that wasn't the situation, but also again in this media landscape, to use a cliche, is I'm pretty lucky. I mean, I'll bring it down a little bit, but the day I resigned from Ched, it was the same day 880 was well, not shut down, but basically shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just simulcasting Ched now, and half a dozen people were laid off. You know, like it's so I willingly made a choice to do something really exciting, to work with awesome people at a great station that's only going to keep building. But I kind of keep in mind, hey, remember the day you did that? Yeah. Some people showed up to work
and didn't
were just told to go
Dusty
home.
mentioned 50 years young, you calling the shots on your own terms and your own basis.
Yeah, I just
not
think
a lot of people get to do that in this, as you say, industry.
It's
in the
so
fun
rare.
business.
It's so rare to leave someplace on your own terms in 2024 in media. I saw yesterday on Twitter, they're expecting more cuts at Rodgers and Sportsnet coming down. Not many people get to make that decision on their own. None of us did. Yeah. And it's I think you should be proud of the fact that you managed to do that. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's a little weird to think about, but it is. I do feel pretty lucky. It's exciting. I mean, I'm really looking forward to working with Jay. I mean, we're just kind of still getting to know each other, but he's got so much energy, and he's so excited about broadcasting and doing the show. And it'll be different for me, and I'm actually really looking forward to it, to having somebody with me the entire time.
Yeah,
obviously, I've had, I always have guests. I banter with other people. Kellen became a
Kellen
big
Nitro,
part of Inside Sports. I mean, he was a lot of fun. But Jay's going to be here the whole time, and I will like that because there were times on Inside Sports, you'd do a great interview or somebody would say something really interesting, and then, you got to take a 4-minute commercial break, and then, you're back for 4 minutes and the show is over.
Yeah.
As opposed to be, man, Jay, can you believe he said he was going to be a bean farmer, and then he realized he could throw a football really far, and he became a quarterback. And
play off it a bit, right? Run with it,
bounce back.
So I think it's going to be. I'm just really excited. I love being a talk show host. I mean, to me, it's the best job in the world. So I've been very lucky to do it for this length of time, and hopefully, well, I'm not gonna. I don't want to work as long as Halsey. I don't want to work as long as Halsey, but I already know that. But.
Well, I mean, you get through the probation. We'll see how it goes.
3 months.
No,
is it 3 months, or is it till I'm 90?
Yeah, you can't leave yet. You're on probation still. That's it. It's a reverse probation. Hey, man, we got to get your thoughts on the Elks yesterday.
Sure.
I mean, how were you with the way things have gone? I don't think anything can really surprise us with this team anymore. But how surprised were you that they didn't go to Trey Ford to start the second half?
Oh, I actually wasn't that surprised.
You weren't,
because coaches can be pretty stubborn.
Yeah,
and it's very odd to me now, and I'm sure Matthew will want to talk more about this.
Oh yeah,
there are a lot of problems with this team. This is a poor roster that appears oddly enough to be getting worse. I mean, the first 4 games weren't that bad, and MBT wasn't a problem.
No,
first 4 games, but again, you're not winning. But I'm struggling to understand what's going on with Ford. He was mismanaged last year, and that was, to me, largely a McAdoo problem, somewhat of a Jones problem. And then they bring in MBT to play and to hopefully win and to mentor Ford. So I was surprised early in the season, why is there not a package for Ford?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, if you're first and goal from the 7. MBT gets you down to the 7. That's when you put Ford in. Okay, because now the defense is great.
Yeah,
he can throw well enough to get 7 yards, and if he takes off, he can running 7
Bombers
yards.
do it with Strebler once in a
problem.
while.
Right? So then he went into those 2. He got those 2 drives in Ottawa. The play calling was unimaginative. I mean, they called the same 3-yard out route to Geno Lewis twice. Ford missed the first throw and then completed the one on the next drive. But having said that, I mean, that was the definition of garbage time yesterday.
Yeah.
So Ford's interesting to talk about. because nobody, even Flutie in his prime, nobody's been able to escape like that in the CFL.
Yeah.
It's remarkable how we can get away.
And
from
even
pressure.
garbage time or no garbage time,
he still got away. There were two
Yeah.
spectacular plays.
Yeah.
I just want them to win, though. I mean, I got the sense seeing some of the stuff on social media last night where I almost felt like, and maybe I'm wrong because I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter, but I felt like the sentiment almost was, well, we know we're going to lose, so let's just lose with excitement. And I was like, no, that's not a good attitude to have. I mean, it's almost become like the decade of darkness for the Oilers.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember a guy called in once and said, I just want it to be Christmas, and they're not out of the playoffs for sure.
That was the old hope.
That was the old hope. Like it
wishes,
went
yeah.
from meaningful games in March to January to November. So I hope that people aren't going to be just satisfied with Ford playing and then losing 40-25.
Yeah.
The secondary is really bad. So that's I try to still keep it in the context of all that. If Ford plays in the second half, do they win? Probably not, because what was it, 21-8 at halftime?
Yeah.
And they couldn't stop. They
No,
couldn't
like,
get a stop.
Bo
in
had
the
the ball
quarter.
for over 12
The
minutes.
defense was on the field the whole third quarter.
I
Yeah.
mean, what are you supposed to do there?
And,
It's not gonna change
Ford's
anything.
not going to prevent a punt from being blocked. Now I know, but again, I get the sentiment. He energizes everybody. He maybe makes the defense think like, all right, I know we're down 10, but if we just get a stop, maybe Trey
power
goes
up,
in there and
yeah.
does something crazy.
Do you think they start him against the Riders?
I think probably. I heard your question earlier, but it's not. I don't think it's a certainty.
No, I don't.
But I think they. I mean, it's 0-7. They're not making the playoffs again. I mean, they have to go 8-3 the rest of the way to make the playoffs. So it's another year out of the postseason.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, and I hate to say this, but I still think you have to find out what you have in Ford, because last year comes in with the season pretty much hopeless, and beats the lousy teams. I mean, basically their 4 wins were like last year was weird because there was 3 really good teams. Montreal was actually mediocre until the last month, and then there were 5. Then there were 5 teams that were pretty bad. So and the Elks went 4-1 against those teams because they lost on Labor Day, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And then they lost to Winnipeg twice, Toronto, Montreal, BC,
there.
and somebody else. So
Yeah.
see, because he went 4-6. So I think you have to see what he can do against the good teams that are ready for him. Because last year he didn't do that well against the good teams that were ready for him.
Well, their next 2 are Riders and Lions. So
yeah, and the Riders that's
that defense, man.
That's a shock to me that they're that good. But yeah, it is mostly
their defense.
More
is
the
unreal.
defense.
Yeah.
But I mean, the teams are scoring at will here. The season has moved on for the Elks. But I don't know what your original question was. But
if he starts, and I think we're all just I don't know.
I think he will. I think he will because I think Jackson also has to take the temperature of the locker room. And again, I wonder if they're just going to say, well, yeah, I mean, he's a bit of a feast or famine player, but the players might kind of say, like, well, at least when we feast,
you have a chance at a feast.
And he makes demoralizing plays for the other team.
Yeah, it's 100%. That's what that one. I mean, if it was a closer football game, it was a blowout. I think it was 44-16 at the time when he escaped and found Javon Leak down the field. You're just like, my God. Even on the call, I was like, I know it's late in a blowout, but that was
the throwing across
play.
your body, the movement.
It was nuts.
No other quarterback in the league makes that play.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I think he's that
VA's having
good.
a great year. VA can't make that play.
I don't think not to his left like that. And the way he got out to begin with,
Yeah, very, very, very good stuff. All right, Reed, well, we'll let you get ready for the hangout there with
Great prop as well. I mean,
this scroll was great. That scroll's going to fit in well. What else? Yeah, what else did you bring? What else? A bag of goodies.
Well,
here
these are
with
actually, because I know you guys have some displays,
we got
so
some
I
stuff
wanted
there.
to contribute. So these are this is canned ham.
Oh, there it
This
is.
was a gift from Brendan Escott.
Oh, that's nice.
And then these were I found these
look
in my
at these.
closet a few
Look at
years
these.
ago. So these
sweet.
are magnetic standings boards, I believe, from 1980. And this hockey one is I think for you can't see it that well, but I think it's for people who don't know hockey. Like it never said Flyers in the Flyers logo. Edmonton never had Edmonton over top. It never said Montreal Canadiens inside the C.
Do you think they didn't have the rights? So they decided to just modify
a good point. But so it's pretty old. But it's got
look at that, eh?
Oh, you see, I have the Rockies where the Devils were, but they actually would have been in the Smythe originally. And then I got the NFL from 79. Nice. They're moved around as well. And for some reason, Bengals just says Bengals on it. They didn't. I guess maybe they couldn't print the stripes or something. I don't know if they ever just had Bengals like that.
That'd have to go back.
So obviously, some of these are old.
We'll definitely put
lost
these
one
up
in the bag here, but we'll put up.
I like to keep track of modern day NFL standings with this board.
Yeah, moving
in the
around
old divisions,
with the old.
Yeah, in the old divisions and everything.
Which team fell off?
Which
team fell off?
Which team fell off? Oh, that's a good question.
2 teams fell off. Both from the AFC East.
Who are we missing here?
They belong there.
Buffalo, Indy somewhere else.
Down there. Well,
Miami?
I'm doing it. Yeah, Miami. Well, Indy used to be there, though, remember?
Yeah, Miami and the Jets.
Indy used to be there.
Oh, did they?
Well, this was Baltimore at the time.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, now it's right, sort of. Atlanta and New Orleans in the NFC West. That's still my favorite. And the Atlanta
This
Braves.
is a great thing. I can't believe you have this. This will look good around the office. Look at this. This is amazing stuff. What a great contribution. You're already paying off, Reed. This is
good.
This is terrific. All right, buddy. Well, welcome
Should I leave
aboard,
my
man.
scroll here, too?
Leave it all here. Leave it all. We'll get you a cubby over there. You can put some stuff in your cubby.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I think there's still some
thank you
cubbies
for having
available.
me, guys. I'm really excited.
have fun on the hangout today, too. And, this is going to be great, man. Love having you on board. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Reed Wilkins, everybody. Round of applause for everybody over in the Nasty Chat. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up. This one's already in for Big Maple. Says, Reed Wilkins prop draft. No doubt. That's this guy gets it. Old time. We're talking real old-timey standings boards. I didn't even know magnets were around back then.
Got me with the scroll, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, that scroll bit was hilarious. That was really, Lieutenant Eric.
It wouldn't stop.
What's the deal with this guy?
Me and toilet paper, the only two in the store.
All right, let's get into the wrap for William Huff. We're Bruce and the Dream Team or William Huff texted me over the weekend. They're super excited that Reed Wilkins is joining us. Bruce went as far as saying, thank you for letting us be a part of this, which is awesome. And he knew a little bit early because had to get the Reed Wilkins Show logo to put on that tent we're going to have.
You called the Dream Team, hey?
Yeah, wait till you see the tent you guys are going to be rolling in at Tailgate, Trev. I can't wait. Looks real nice. It's got like sides on it, the back, the logos everywhere. Looks awesome.
Got a roof?
It does have a roof. A roof on a tent. Can you believe this? You and I want to get a video of you and Zach setting that up for the first time. We'll see how that goes. That's content in itself right there. All right. Reed's going to be on the Hangout coming up here at 9 o'clock. Tomorrow on our show, we will debut what we are calling the interview. We'll have that for you tomorrow morning here on the Nielson Show. That should be a lot of fun. How good is this guy? Like,
it's too easy.
It's going to be great. Going to be absolutely
It's like
great.
he's been here all along.
It's where he belongs. It's where he belongs. The Wrap brought to you by William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, boom. 1952. That's how long they've been doing it. WilliamHuff.com. Jen, this just came in. Breaking news. Carlos Sainz is going to Williams. Carlos Sainz to Williams?
That's what I had tonight. What did you learn on the show today? Yes, Williams announcing Carlos Sainz will complete the team's driver lineup for the 25 season and beyond.
Somewhere Gager's rolling in his grave right now.
I've already sent it to the group.
Oh, my
Well, actually, Williams
goodness.
had just a tweet with the eyes earlier, and that was it.
That's
Williams
it.
Racing, yeah, that's right.
Those guys.
They know how to announce in
Well, I
Formula
saw
1.
Formula One just teamed up with the LVCVA, the very organization that we teamed up with in February. And then we pull a mascot's head off of Reed Wilkins, and MCU Marvel Universe does the exact same thing.
Sheldologist had that tweet. We partnered with them. It's good to see Formula One following in the footsteps. But
I mean, it does make sense. Tyler in Terwilliger to the Paris Jewelers inbox says, I can't even explain how peaceful and enjoyable it is to listen to that man chat. I'm really looking forward to my drives home, as you should.
Do you have the...
Oh, yeah. Reed Wilkins.
Yeah, Dusty to Reed.
You're going to live with me now. Yeah, I'm going to take care of you. Because I love you. Oh, I love you, Joe. Oh, I love you, Son.
I think you guys recreate that scene in the interview tomorrow, hey?
It's too late. It's already been shot. But I definitely should have said that at the end. You're going to live with me now. We were flying too high off the script. It was, man, I'm so excited. And we're not done yet.
Oh, no.
We're working on a 1 to 3 show.
Complete the 6 to 6.
Have a few pretty good options, I think, that we're chatting with, and we'll see what we can see what we can do. As like Pinky and Brain, we're trying to take over the world. Right? Isn't that what Pinky and Brain did? What we gonna do today, Brain? Same thing we do every day, Pinky. Take over the world. By world, we just mean the Edmonton sports scene
and beyond.
But we're getting there. Look, it's Acticum. Nice shirt, Acticum.
Hey?
Looking good, buddy. All right, let's get to text of the day today. Had some good ones, not going to lie. But Big Maple's going to take this bad boy down.
X-Ray J also claiming that he didn't piss himself at the Nasty Bash. He says, I'm not sure about pissing my pants. I don't recall actually leaving a quick sniff test. Wasn't able to confirm. So we also learned that today. X-Ray J may have or may have not pissed his pants.
Hey, look, man. If pee in your pants, you're cool. I'm James Dean. Right, Billy Madison. I'm pretty sure that was the line.
Yeah.
Text of the day today is going to go to Big Maple. He's going to win that gift certificate to A&W or A&W. They're helping you chill for the summer with frozen A&W root beers. Made with natural cane sugar, natural flavors, blended with ice. Simple as that. Best part, limited time, buy any size, get a second one. For free, double the flavor, double the chill, double the joy, double the fun, double the deliciousness for one great price. Hurry in and try one today. Offer is valid for a limited time at A&W Brew Bars in Edmonton, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, and Devon. Most A&W drive-thrus are open 24 hours, but there's still that one guy out there who says, I refuse to be open 24 hours. I'll only be open 20 hours. So then they can't say all drive-thrus are open 24 hours because that one guy probably. I talk with that guy. Text of the day today, Big Maple. Reed Wilkins, more like Freed Wilkins. Real nice text there, Big Maple. Real nice text. Sound of the day today. Boys, we got to run back Doug Roach. Hey, we got to run back some Dougie Roach today. How can we not?
Joey Cassidy turns back. Looks like they're doing a little reverse that you might see in football. And here comes Bazin. He's got some speed. Split the D. Oh, what's he going to do? He's shooting a room, Daddy. Oh, look at that. Look at this, look at that. And there's the speed, and the old banana splitting Rudy. And, Vernon is rejoice as their nemesis, Steinbach. They get him in the overtime. Roof Daddy. As Bazin kept chugging as his speed helped split the D. And there's no slipping on a banana peel there as he went. Slipping on upstairs there. And a goal as Vernon is happy.
This is EST signing Reed Wilkins away from Jed.
Is happy.
Happy. And we could have a whole week of that clip, couldn't we?
Is happy.
X-Ray J, when he didn't even know he pissed his pants.
Is happy.
It's too late. We got the hangout coming up. What are we watching tonight? I'm going to the Stingers game tonight with my family, and Stingers are 3.5-point favorites over at coolbet.com.
And you said something about a new pair of shoes, or you're going to get Air Force Ones? What are you going to be?
No, I got.
Who will you be wearing at the game tonight?
I'll be wearing the same Skechers I wear every day, Brain. No time for shoes today.
Have a hot dog for me.
This haircut's looking sharp, though.
Haircut's great.
Yeah.
You should have gone capless today, actually, would have been.
You know what? I should have.
Yeah.
Especially for the big Reed thing. Should have taken my hat off today.
Well,
but I feel like I can now. I'll do it for Lock Shop. No hat today on Lock Shop.
I like that.
Feels really nice. With Tommy gone for a couple weeks, I got to become a nice hair guy here.
Somebody's got to take the torch.
You got to have one. So it's on me now. All right, that's going to do it for us. For YouTube Trev and Lieutenant Eric, I am Dustin Nielson.
And Miles Davis.
Miles Davis. It wasn't James Dean. It was Miles Davis.
There you go.
Damn, I'm sorry, you guys. That's tough. Damn. I got to be better. It's as simple as that. All right, Hangout's coming up. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, Small Dose of Whale and the Wolf, the Hangout with a fired-up Murray McCourt, our newest employee, Reed Wilkins, and a guy we'll never get rid of, Matthew Owanek. That's coming up on the Hangout. If you're watching on YouTube, turn on the autoplay. Take your right on over. I'll be back with the Lock Shop at 11 and the Oil Stream today at high noon right here and only here on EST. Have a great day and take it easy.